begin to heal when the cynics are bleeding us dry. Divided we stand against a sinister design. Yeah. What if the rebels and renegades never arrive? And what if the heroes we waited for all this time take a dive? Oh, just a day ending in why? Just another doomsday gone by. We're still alive. So virgin yet we sleep. The rabbit hole is way too deep. The water keeps rising. The water keeps rising. And I can't bring myself to turn away. Yeah. Shame to say that I wish I could. I'm ashamed to say that I wish I could close my eyes and mind and heart for good. I'm ashamed to say that I wish I could close my eyes and mind and heart for good. What if the rebels and renegades were here the whole time? What if the heroes we waited for were you and I? Oh, just another day ending in why? Just another doomsday gone by. We're still alive. We're still alive.
While conspiracy theorists insist no 30-06 could possibly behave this way, the round blasted into Charlie Kirk's neck, crushed his vertebra and ricocheted downward toward his heart, only to be stopped dead by his legendary Superman neck of super-dense steel-like bone. It created no exit wound and lodged harmlessly just beneath the skin, which experts hailed as a miracle that saved the bystanders standing behind him. Up on the rooftop, Tyler Robinson didn't just break down his rifle. He shredded it apart in a ridiculous hyperspeed blur using nothing but his bare hands. Then he sprinted across the roof and launched himself off the edge with expert parkour precision. Tyler made the conscious expert decision to reassemble his rifle one last time and place it under a tree in a bush. He then changed back into his blue jeans and maroon t-shirt in hyperspeed. Time for ice cream. While conspiracy theorists insist no...
Hello and welcome to the showcast. It's me. I'm Dane. I do this show occasionally, and so does Ryan. Actually, hey, welcome. Everybody. You guys had any problems with the scourge of communism that's apparently rearing its head lately? I've been seeing quite a bit about that. No. Do I sound okay? My audio all right?
Yeah, you sound great.
Cool. Welcome. Let's see who we got here. Sketchy, Big Jerry, Jake Hung. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Put you on screen there. Right above where chat is, you may notice a QR code. That QR code is for donating to my family, who was in need due to a weird circumstance that was not expected. Basically, we have to move on a very truncated timetable, and if you've ever moved into a new place, you know that there's typically deposit and or first and last month's rent and then just the moving costs in and of itself. So yeah, we were kind of stuck in a situation where we need to move pretty quick, but did not prepare for that, so we don't have that money saved and need assistance. I want to thank you, anybody who's donated. I appreciate all of you who have, and those of you who shared. I appreciate the hell out of that too. So if that's all you can do, I would appreciate that. Just to share goes a long way. In fact, thank you, Anthony Gramuglia, for sharing that this morning, because that, saw quite a few donos roll in, and that's very much appreciated. Yeah, there's that out of the way. And then, yeah, I don't think Bob Chaos is showing up today, but I think maybe, let me make sure that Chariot's got a link, because Chariot's expressed some interest coming in. But what are you up to? How's your week been? Right?
Not as bad as yours, but challenging, should we say?
I see.
Yeah. Coming home from work on Monday, got the oil warning light come on the car.
Oof.
Um,
and that can be either something like really silly that's like easy to correct, or it could be the car is about to die. That's what I hate about,
Yeah. Had the breakdown guy out because luckily I took out the warranty, so all that's covered. So basically, there was a leak somewhere. He couldn't find it. It's gone to the garage, and mechanic called today to say that they found the leak, and it would cost me $2,500 to fix if it wasn't under warranty. But luckily, all of that's covered. So it was pretty stressful for 2 days.
I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, those types of expenditures, it's kind of wild. I mean, I don't know what the economic situation is over there in Fantasyland, wherever you live. No, I'm just kidding. But like, yeah, things aren't great here. So just an occurrence like that, or like the one we're in, can put you in quite a scenario.
Yeah, so some similar issues. Oil prices are high here because of the war that your president started.
It was.
So
I went to bed last night, and it was over. It was over. It was done. But then, apparently we got into a war with the Islamic Republic of Japan. Have you seen that?
I didn't see that. I didn't realize that such a thing existed.
Me either. But here's the president wouldn't lie about it, right?
11 missile shot by the Islamic Republic of Japan. They were shot at the air.
Yep.
That's huge if true.
I mean, I saw some pretty funny, AI images that people had done in response to that. It was, you can use your imagination, but it's basically a Japanese guy and, in Muslim dress kind of thing. Maybe kind of racist, but it made me chuckle anyway, just because it's making fun of Trump.
And then there's this he, wait till you show it.
Well, he met with Putin today. I don't know if you saw that. I was kind of surprised.
A question for President Putin, do you have a question for President Putin? Not Zelensky. Yeah, what would you like to ask him? Because I'm going to ask him that question.
What's sad is that he thinks that works. Like he's convinced right now that everybody bought that. They think that I was just asking randomly about Putin. They don't realize that I accidentally said Putin talking about Zelensky. So, thank God. I'm so smart,
I hadn't seen that, and the funny thing about that is that just a few years ago, Biden made the same mistake at the UN, I think it was, or possibly a NATO summit, and funny enough, people went nuts over it.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah, it is pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic. The moving has not begun yet because we don't have to quite yet, but we do need to. We also just kind of have to secure the funds. First of all, like, when I say that we have to secure the funds for moving, I don't mean like we have the money, but we got to pay ourselves back so we have more. I mean, we don't have the money. And if we had another extra, I don't know, month or so beyond what we do, we could probably maybe make some of it work a lot better. But yeah. Anyway, also there in the in chat, there's a pinned comment that is also the link to the GoFundMe. Like I said, just sharing it means the world to me. I really appreciate it. If you can't afford it, and if you can't afford it, like if it would take anything out of you or your loved ones, well-being, please don't donate either. But anyway, enough of that. Is Trump a bottom?
I did see that Trump announced that apparently communism hasn't worked in the thousands of years that it's been tried.
Oh, yeah, it's been around a long time, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've seen Speaker MAGA Mike Johnson. He described what these DSA cretins believe in, and it's pretty. Check this out.
The DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America, it sounds so innocuous, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. Don't say that. This is their platform. Listen, this is actually quotes from their platform that they published, I think, about a day or two ago. You can find this on the internet. Okay, here's just a sample of what they're about. They put this on paper. They're saying the quiet things out loud. Abolish the Electoral College, replace the two-party system with a multi-party democracy. Expand the House of Representatives, implement proportional representation.
So you know how whenever Chuds, like Yellow Flash is a shining example of this. Whenever they're just so lazy they can't think of anything to really say about whatever they're going to make. They want to hit the algorithm on something, so they'll just read the article, and they're just like, it's not even like one of their friendly articles, like one of those bullshit websites. It's actually just a regular article, and he'll just read it like mockingly, and that's like all he'll do. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they signed on to play in this movie. Oh, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's just saying their actual platform and being like, oh, and democracy, like rolling his eyes at the idea of democracy. I did not add these effects. These just happen. These occur in nature whenever somebody says shit like this. So the sound effects.
Representation and ranked choice voting in all elections. Establish public ownership of the largest corporations and essential industries to ensure democratic control and accountability to the people. Abolish ICE and grant amnesty for all. End sanctions on Cuba, Venezuela, and Iran. Free Palestine. Quote, for a free Palestine with Jerusalem as its capital. End all military and economic aid to Israel. Prosecute U.S. and Israeli leaders responsible for the genocide in Gaza. Abolish the carceral state. Quote, redirect police and prison funding to public services as steps towards abolishing the carceral forces of the capitalist state. Y'all, it goes on and on and on. Defund the Department of War.
I mean, I'm waiting for him to say something that's not turning me on. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the idea that he reads defund the Department of War,
right?
As if that's a bad thing. I mean, they might have got away with it if it was still called the Department of Defense, but calling it the Department of War is just cartoonishly evil.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
these lunatic democratic socialists want to get rid of war.
Yeah. And they're going to strengthen democracy. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like we want to strengthen democracy, right, guys? Yeah, it's fucking, I don't know. We were beyond parody at this point. I did try to make it a little bit more fun with the sound effects, but it's just like, yikes, man. What y'all got nothing, huh? Got nothing. And then let's see, he finishes off here pretty quick.
Replace the president and the Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen and subordinate to Congress, which they're hoping to take over.
So he's not even like putting the mocking emphasis on the right words, Yeah. He's just like, to Congress. It's like, yeah, what are you doing, man? Like you seem like the kind of guy that shares your porn history with your son, But yeah, aside from that, I was asked to roll this campaign ad here. Please bear with me on this. Find it here. It is. So I being from Texas, haven't lived there in over a decade now, but being from Texas, I do care a lot about what happens in it. And so, here's this. There we go. Sorry, I kind of messed up there because I had to remove the goddamn thing off the screen. But in case you missed the end. Yeah. Look, I don't know a lot about her, but I know she's not Greg Abbott, who's a huge, huge piece of shit, a piece of shit on wheels. I do know that whenever I was had my brush with the law when I was younger, man, barely 18-year-old man actually. His name was, this is whenever he was the attorney general, so his name was in the bottom of any of the correspondence that I had to deal with probation stuff for. So that always kind of struck me as, I don't like this guy. Although, probation, honestly, in that case, I think it benefited me. I advocate for probation being a thing, probably should be used more often than it is, especially in Texas. Anyways, so we got some stuff to look at. The Chuds are, if you believe this, being dishonest. Okay. So they
seem to be having a bad time of it.
They have been for quite a while. I mean, their numbers are still, plummeting. I don't think any of them have gained any, gotten any like bounce back lately or anything. I might be wrong. If somebody knows of that, let me know. But what do we got? Oh, so this movie, The Odyssey, which, if you want to hear something crazy, I have not watched the trailer for yet. I've not watched a single trailer for it.
If I'm honest, the trailers are underwhelming, perhaps would be the correct word, because they don't give a lot away.
I'd seen somebody say that, but I mean, I am actually very excited about it. I am a critical Christopher Nolan fan. I think that he has a tendency to, front load and a really amazing, impressive spectacle, visual spectacle, and as well as just action sequences and stuff, and that's all great and really good. But then, the more you watch his stuff, a lot of his movies, just every time you view that movie, you kind of start to see where there's a lot of cracks underneath. I feel like, and I mean, it makes me feel like I'm being mauled or something whenever I say this, but it is kind of like that. It's like it's hard for me to avoid the thread coming undone whenever I see something like the Joker's playing in The Dark Knight, right? It's like once I start thinking about it, I'm like, oh my god, wow. But at the same time, I've always said I consider it also a compliment that I point this out, because it took me a lot of viewings of The Dark Knight before I really started to notice that. So like in a way, he's making the experience of the movie so great that I didn't even have a moment to think about the logic of the underlying plot.
I mean, for me, I think it's oddly hit and miss. Like, I didn't like Insomnia. I thought it was a bit turgid.
Wasn't that like his kind of a studio? Like, I can work with a studio kind of proof of concept, right? Like,
basically, yeah. I mean, he made Memento on a budget and did a great job with that. Which that concept, as good as it was, could have been a complete mess because it's so convoluted, and in trying to make the story run backwards while running forwards could have easily just been a quagmire. So he did a brilliant job.
That was an experiment that he put a lot on. Obviously, the idea of having the story going backwards, and it's a good thing he didn't fail at that, because that'd be pretty embarrassing if he did fail at making a movie where everything goes backwards.
Yeah,
Tenet sucked, what I'm saying.
I haven't seen Tenet because of everything I heard about it, and I
haven't seen Dunkirk because everybody told me that if you don't see it in the theater, you basically missed out. So
show on TV, and it is just a great film. But then the weird thing about Dunkirk is you really do need to watch it more than once to see just how good it is.
Okay.
Because first time out the gate, it's great as a war film, but it's just a great war film. But I think the more you watch it after that, you understand just how great it is. Okay. Once you know sort of the story beats and everything as well.
I kind of feel like that's the case with not his movies that are great, but also just like movies in general sometimes, where it's like I have such a great experience that I know I had a great time, but the thing that tends to make me realize how great a movie really was or is whenever I feel compelled to watch it again very quickly.
It's kind
of and yeah.
And I feel like his best films are the ones that do need to be rewatched more than once.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
But tough call. Probably Inception, because I think that's right in the
The sweet
sweet
spot
spot.
of his
Yeah.
experimenting, but also not getting too crazy with it.
Visually brilliant, a novel concept
Yeah.
that I hadn't seen before, influential. The whole snow fight, the
Yes.
scene in the snow is just like, it's the best James Bond sequence not in a James Bond film.
I always just immediately imagine fucking Joseph Gordon-Levitt, crawling along the walls and the ceiling and stuff of that spinning hallway.
Yeah.
That's what sticks out of my mind. But so I think probably that one visually would be up there. One, if not one or two of my favorites of his. But like, I think overall, I think that The Prestige is amazing. And it's
the weird thing about The Prestige is that I didn't like it the first time I watched it. It's the only one really where the first time I watched it I didn't like it, and I've liked it more. I like it more the more I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps that's just because of the ending. Because I don't think he's a particularly cynical director, even though probably about half his movies sort of end on a sour note.
Or at least an ambiguous one, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We've gotten far. People are expecting Chud Talk, so let's get back to Chud Talk right now. We could talk about our movie opinions all day long, and probably should, but this is what the people signed up for today. So first reviews are coming out for the Odyssey,
and I'm guessing, not knowing anything about the reviews, that the Chuds got it right, and everybody thinks this is an absolute stinker.
Yep, they said that they can't even believe how bad it is, considering Elliot Page is in it, and it's like, what were they thinking? And Lupita Nyong'o is like, oh my god, she's black, and what that can't be, yeah. So it's bad. No, it's people are saying it is his best, that it's peak Nolan. I'm definitely one to be cautious of you got to consider the fact that these are the first reviews. Many of them were like influencers given, invitation. So there is going to be, some element, I think, with some people to praise it like that. But I think we can be confident that it doesn't suck. I don't know that it would just be universally praised the way that it's being if it just actually sucked. But some weird stuff has come up on the back of this. So, we're not going to talk too much about it because we haven't seen the movie. So that'd be really silly of us to make content talking about the movie that we haven't seen. I am looking forward to it. I think that the casting is pretty fucking interesting, actually. I think that Chuds play right into what, I don't know if Christopher Nolan does this with this in mind, but like he has to recognize that casting some of these actors that he put in this is going to, he knows there are people out there that are the way they are now. Everybody knows that now.
I don't think he does, because I don't know if you know this about Christopher Nolan, but I don't think he owns a phone.
Oh God, that's the most Christopher Nolan. Yeah, that makes sense. I think I've read that before.
I don't even think he owns a lap. Like, personally, you can't phone him.
Well, but somebody had, like, I know his brother is very, very into current events and stuff. I don't know if did Jonathan Nolan write on this or not? Do you know?
Sure, I know Homer wrote on it. Yeah,
I've heard of him. Homer Nolan, right? No, it's So his brother is very much into because he did frickin' Westworld, and season 3 is really good. But nonetheless, I have to imagine somebody would alert him to, like, hey, if you cast this character, or this person is this character, or whatever, that there's going to be a contingent of idiots on the internet who are going to get upset, or maybe if they didn't tell him, then they just knew that in terms, like, in marketing or whatever the fuck, I don't know, the studio knew that, and that they, point being that they see it as a benefit at this point. If they're still doing it, if they're still doing this woke casting, you know what I mean? Then it just, in my opinion, it goes to show that these Chuds have been completely ineffective. And in fact, more than that, in many cases, they benefit the algorithmic, the algorithm game when it comes to marketing these things. Because, it gets more articles written about it than just if, oh, look, Christopher Nolan's got a movie coming out. There'll be several articles written about that. And maybe the casting, in general if it was just a bunch of white people or whatever. But you add a trans man, you add a couple of people of color, and then the Chuds start doing what they're expected to do at this point, and then you get to write more articles about it, and that boosts it in the algorithm. And it just seems to me that they probably on some level the studio or somebody has that factor in the equation somewhere. What do you think?
I'd be surprised if Nolan had that in mind.
No.
And whoever his casting director is. But
Sure.
I definitely agree that the studio would have sort of, their eyes would have lit up about the possibilities of it. Because if you look at the films that his casting decisions, Robin Williams in Insomnia as a serial killer, unexpected. Heath Ledger, all the chaos that casting caused until people saw the film.
Mm-hmm.
So he has had these things where I think he just casts the actors that he wants, and obviously he recasts many actors. I mean, in this film, Damon he's worked with before, Anne Hathaway he's worked with before, Pattinson, I'm sure some of the others. So he tends to have this core group of people that he likes working with, that sort of get cast, but then brings in new people. And of course, Elliot Page, that's another one that he's worked with before and knows. So he knows some of the cast and then brings in new people. And I think he genuinely, I mean, his casting director must be earning their money, because I can't think of a bad casting decision he's made.
I mean, yeah, when you imagine the machinery of filmmaking that exists around Christopher Nolan at this point, it's pretty mind-boggling. And they have, everybody that is just some of the best in the industry, and it's probably, I'm not going to speculate, but I mean, I'm just saying they're great. I mean, even the movies that I don't love as much as other ones, they are competently made on a technical level. You can't deny them. Like Tenet, it sucks. I don't want to say I hate it, but like it's very, very frustrating. And I kept waiting for it to pay off. Like, okay, this is a challenging watch. I'm not against a challenging watch. The Last Jedi is my favorite fucking Star Wars movie. But by the end, I expected something to just pay for the effort, and it really didn't. It just kind of farted, and it's but nonetheless, it's visually looks great. It just doesn't make any sense, and that's where I think he got with that one a little bit up his own ass with like, oh, I'm taking this technical shit to the extreme. And I'm gonna come up with a concept after the fact. Basically, is what I think he did, and he didn't really, make it worthwhile. Nonetheless, what was I saying? Oh, I was just kind of rambling. But so shows are they've been saying that it was doesn't, because there's not Greek. It's so stupid, Ryan. It's so stupid. They're not casting Greek actors, so like, okay, what? This is a myth. It's a myth. It blows my mind whenever they act like, I remember got in an argument with somebody back whenever the first Thor movie was came out, and I was on Facebook, and some random idiot was like, said something about Heimdall being Idris Elba, and I'm like, what are you? Like, well, they're from Norse mythology. It shouldn't be a black one. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? They don't exist, man. They don't. It's just,
well, the characters they're casting, because I mean, my personal favorite, I guess you would call it a Greek mythology film, would be Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
And they take the Kraken from Norse mythology, not even Greek. All of the cast in that, none of them are Greek. Burgess Meredith wasn't Greek, as far as I know.
Side note, I met Burgess Meredith whenever I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. He was at a local, like in Texas town I lived with my mom in. He showed up for some kind of meet and greet, public or whatever, and I got to meet him. I had no idea who he was at the time, but in hindsight, that's pretty cool. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, that's fine. I was just going to say, no, Clash of the Titans, the original I'm talking about now, is still regarded as a classic, and there's not a Greek actor in it. It's full of English thespians and Harry Hamlin.
Well, so I'm gonna compare this movie to another famous movie in the same kind of realm, because this is going to show you, because I actually think maybe they did make some mistakes with this movie compared to another one that's done it. So the Odyssey 2026 whitewashes a Greek myth by not including any Greek actors, as opposed to Troy 2004, which faced no similar backlash due to casting popular Greek movie stars such as Brad Pitopoulos and Orlandos Bloomakis. You know, so like, why didn't they
Yeah.
just do that?
I mean, we could have easily had Zach Galifianakis as Odysseus, and Jason Mantzoukas could have been
Sure. They love
Telemachus.
that, right? They love that. Yeah, that's just funny. Shitty movie details is one of the most consistently kind of hilarious subreddits to follow.
I mean, not only is this a myth in the same way that Troy is, but this is leaning into the sort of gods and monsters element of it,
Right.
and some of the characters in it are literally either gods or demigods born from Zeus raping his way across the universe. I mean, Helen of Troy, hatched from an egg.
But she can't be black, though. I don't know if that's who Lupido's actually playing.
I don't think it is now. I think it's.
God.
I don't know if it's been officially confirmed, but I don't think she is Helen of Troy. So all of that was for nothing, because I think the Chuds have gone pretty quiet about saying that. But of course, ironically, Helen of Troy, the sort of whole purpose in the Odyssey and the Iliad was to start a war, and
Yeah, she's barely in it, from what I understand. Like, she's barely in the story.
Yeah. But I mean, they don't know about the Odyssey. They've tried so desperately with this one. I don't understand why they picked Nolan. Maybe it was because Tenet was
Yeah,
so a little weak, but then Oppenheimer was not.
I mean, if you think about it, like the context of they've not been doing well for a while, they've not been able to get really many hits. So I guess you could call it, as far as the Chud crypt goes.
Yeah.
You know, so they might just be to the point where they're doing it at movies that they wouldn't in a different, because you know the movie landscape is not great in general, because you know the good stuff that comes out is somewhat few and far between, at least in terms of theaters. But yeah, so they John Campea actually did, you know, he's been coming out and talking about this. Well, we'll get to that in a second. I wanted to kind of go over a few things here about, you know, the Chuds are saying, you know, you go to Reddit or whatever, and you'll just see countless people trying to dismiss the idea that this is racist or whatever, and they're saying, no, it's not about that. It's about, you know, accuracy and his blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, I guess if you want to believe that's the case, well, then you see stuff like this. That is a pretty you know, just fucking racist, like objectively brazenly racist depiction there, and
Yep.
of Detroit.
Mask off racism.
And that what's really sad is he only got not even 30,000 views within a day. He used to get way better numbers than that, and that's crazy.
And I mean, the biggest thing to point out there is the flashing thumbs down sign, which we've said before many times. And Birdman just made a video on it because I think he's getting a bit sick of them using this as a metric. But the plugin that tells you about the downvotes on YouTube videos is wrong.
Well, that's the thing. So one that's kind of perfect jumping on point to what I really wanted to zero in on is that they're not talking about the movie now. They're not talking about, you know, it's all just a foregone conclusion with their audience that it's going to be terrible. And it seems really interesting that they are so fixated on downvotes. And then, like, for example, here's another thumbnail that you know, kind of goes along with that same pattern. Side scrollers. Also, you know, using Lupita as a. Sometimes I don't recognize these can be like, even just them using a picture of a black actress in a movie, if it's not even an altered picture, for their purposes, it's basically kind of a racist dog whistle.
The thing is, having watched all the trailers, obviously you haven't. She's barely in the trailers, so they've gone out of their way to find the ones who haven't just made racist AI pictures. Have gone out of their way to find screenshots from the film that of her, because it's not easy to find. So, once again, highlighting the only thing. I mean, this is desperate. This is something that we pointing out when they would mention it in passing a few weeks ago, a few years ago, they would just mention in passing how something had been downvoted, a trailer. And now this is like the main focus of their hate campaign, which is
Exactly.
weak,
I mean, look,
really weak.
I didn't even mean to be doing this at first. Like the first couple of these that I grabbed, I just kind of grabbed instinctively. Then I realized what the common thread with all these was. Like this one, it's not about downvotes, but what it is about, all of this is about communicating to their audience that they're doing a good job of you know, essentially trying to tank a movie by downvotes and algorithmic influence, right? That's why the only reason he would be concerned about this. One comment got through before they turned them off. Like, okay, why do you think they turned them off? Oh, because of you, and you think that's a win. You guys think that it's actually cool that you have made this movie studio not want people to engage with the marketing of their movie on at least the Nazi website. That's pretty fucking pathetic. I got one more here. Oh yeah, the man himself here, Gary, grandfather of the grift. A ratioed trailer and locked replies on X for a Christopher Nolan film? What the fuck? Don't ask what the fuck, Gary. You know exactly what the fuck, man. Like, the Odyssey backlash is, you see how they created this? They created their own fucking narrative with this shit. There is no real backlash because none of them had even seen the movie. They still haven't.
And he knows it's not going to flop as well, because he said as much in other videos. He said that he doesn't think it will flop.
Well, that's maybe he's asking questions. So, just to be fair, he might be you know, kind of, he might say that in the video. But somebody called him out on Twitter. I don't think I saved that one. Somebody had retweeted him this one and it said, like, you know, it's funny how these guys can make endless videos about how terrible and woke it is and how it's going to flop, but then you know, there's no videos up of them talking about the universal praise the movie's gotten so far. And then he responded to that and he said, you know, oh, well, except we talked about it for 10 or 15 minutes on a live stream. And it's
oh,
like,
wow, a whole 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, and it's like implicitly admitting that he doesn't put as much focus on that as he does the other thing.
They spent 15 minutes probably rambling, where at one point, that's probably where I saw the clip of him saying, I don't think it'll flop. Well, see, they have praised it. Also, a ratioed trailer. And again, I'd encourage people to seek out other people's commentary of this. As I said, Birdman covered it and TTBN Gaming. Yeah. It's one trailer that they found to do this with. It's the trailer with, I think, the lowest amount of views, which is the Odyssey countdown trailer, which I'm not even sure what that is, because the main trailer has got about 50 million views on it, and clearly hasn't been ratioed and doesn't have the same amount of dislikes. No, just whatever the lowest, you know, form of thing they can frame as a win, they'll use it. They don't give a shit. But I mean, it's complete tabloid at this point. It's like those tabloids that seek out one negative comment from Twitter and base an entire news story about how this one person said this thing, therefore it represents everybody. Yep. And then I have a post from John Campia, who I'm not a fan of, just his style and content in general. I'm not saying anything negative about that in general. I don't think it's bad necessarily, but I don't like his whole thing. However, and also he seems to continuously have a goddamn Robert Meyer Burnett, who's a fucking disgusting, like really, really disgusting, shameless fucking Zionist genocide celebrator. It's fucking gross. But he has him on his show a lot. But he did post this, and I've seen he said something in a video as well, but like, get this off. So for all the outlets screaming historical accuracy and faithfulness to the source material and their attacks on the Odyssey, can I trust that you will soon post equally angry, rage-filled videos and calls for a boycott on Mel Gibson's new Passion of the Christ 2 for casting white, blue-eyed actor from Finland, Jaakko Ontinen? I mean, anthropologists agree Jesus look more like the image on the right. So you're going to start blasting the movie too, right? Right. Of course not. And for all those people asking, well, how would you feel if it was the other way around? Like if a white actor was cast in a non-white role? Gosh, I don't know. You mean examples like these? And yeah, I'm not going to read them off, but you can see them. Yeah, pretty comprehensive list. Well, there are others. Page. There's another page. He said this is off the top of his head. I don't believe that. I think he's lying about that. But
That's okay.
No way he got those years right off the top of his head.
Right. And then one more page here, just a few more. I didn't even know that about Annihilation.
No, I don't think I did either. I mean, there's ones that I found out that they race swap characters that I'm amazed about.
Eric DeBunks, what's up, man? Whoa, vacation. Hell yeah, man. You deserve it. Well earned.
Yes.
Have a good time.
Have a good time, rest, get these chuds out of your head for a little while. Because he's doing work that I cannot do anymore. I can't engage with their videos. They hurt my brain.
I just kind of check out. Like, it used to hurt my brain. Now it's just kind of like my brain will not even focus on what they're saying. It's just like, okay, yeah. Once you've heard it a million times, you've heard it 1,000,001 times. But yeah, man, take care. Hope y'all have a fun one. Let us know when you come back. You should come on the old showcast or one of my streams or whatever. We should stream again soon. Have fun. I mean, yeah, the Heathcliff one, I don't know anything about that. I just kind of think it's weird that there's plenty of orange cats they could have gotten to do that. Okay.
That's my kind of humor. That's my kind of joke. I can't believe I missed that.
Well, I mean, I'm making the joke because I'm not familiar with Wuthering Heights or the character at all. So, like,
well, as far as I know, it's from all the adaptations they've done. I don't think Heathcliff has ever anything other than cast as a white man. And but then this is gone through history and nobody's cared. I mean, would these chuds really care if they found out that in Die Hard, Al Powell was supposed to be a white guy?
In
the book, he's a white guy. So, I mean...
Yeah, I don't think they care.
I guess Die Hard's woke now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many examples of this, of adaptations changing the race of characters, and sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. It's entirely circumstance dependent.
Real quick, apparently, I guess they finally located Mitch McConnell. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that at all, but it's kind of crazy. But I guess here's a video. We found Mitch McConnell. So he's back.
See, I was under the impression that he'd gone to the Caribbean island with a couple of interns.
Yeah, they're just puppeting him around. No, I mean, so what it seems like is happening, if in case anybody's curious at all, I looked into it because I was like, there's no way they're actually going to do that. Like, are they actually withholding his true state, which is most likely, from what I can tell, brain dead? Seems like he had a heart attack and then they didn't revive him fast enough and his brain died. And yet his body still doing whatever it does. That's basically the consensus of reputable sources that I found, is most likely. So August 3rd is the day that in Kentucky, his state, if there was going to be a runoff election to replace him, his seat, it would have to be the people would have to be entered into the race by August 3rd. That's in the Constitution. So it kind of just seems like they're trying to hold off until then for whatever's going on. Like they're going to, which is fucking crazy and fucked up. And I hate it. At the same time, there's part of me that's like, that's really sweet. They're honoring the spirit of Mitch McConnell. The guy who's known for not letting Obama install a Supreme Court justice because he just spun, basically gummed up the works so it couldn't happen. It's like, well, that's really, really sweet. They're honoring him that way. If that's the case. But yeah. Here is this.
Will you simply makes you.
Hey, by the way, did you know this entire moment was unplanned? That was Heath Ledger's first time taking off his mask, and everyone's on set's reaction was real. Like, they were like, what's going on?
Really?
The extras who were working that day were reportedly so scared they called the police.
I mean, they knew they were in a movie, right?
The scene where Christian Bale gets emotional, they actually told him that his entire family died in a fiery car crash in order to get an authentic emotional reaction out of him.
That's not...
I read it on IMDb WebMD. Actors have little baby brains, and they have to be emotionally manipulated into giving a good performance. Like here, the actor who plays Harvey Dent, he improvised his entire appearance. He had a moment of inspiration on set and thought what? That his face should just do that. Exactly. This scene right here, the explosives expert improvised the entire scene by rigging up a real hospital with TNT. He did that so Heath Ledger would be scared hundreds of casualties. I feel like you fundamentally don't understand how movies get made. Christian Bale improvised doing that to Joker. He improvised it so that Joker could improvise, ouch, that hurts. That's not. Christopher Nolan improvised the entire story for The Dark Knight when one day he sat down and wrote the entire script on Final Draft. That's not what improvising means. I just improvised that with you right here, right now. I wonder if making up facts about how any good scene in any good movie was improvised on set comes from some desire to see filmmaking and art not as some constant grind of patience and hard work, but instead as some divinely spontaneous thing that comes from pure talent. Bro, you just improvised that? I mean, in the context of this fictional scene, yes, but no, I wrote it like 5 minutes ago. You mean improvised into Google Docs 5 minutes ago? Improvised in editing right now. And improvised viewing by you. This story is yours now.
Wow. I just appreciate that guy's content. It's pretty good.
He is good at what he does. Because it is true. I mean, and again, it's all for sort of news coverage, because actors will often say that they improvised something that they might have improvised at one point, but then got written into the script.
Right.
That's always the we improvised this in rehearsals, and then the writer wrote it into the script, and then it's like, it is improvised, but also not what people think when you say improvised.
Speaking of improvised scripts, we didn't do this on purpose, but it actually works out really well. Another little topic I wanted to follow up on, because the other day on Modern Audience stream, we talked about actually 2 streams so far. So this will be the 3rd one, and I think probably the final one that I mentioned it. This movie, Citizen Vigilante, which I forgot we actually covered this back whenever it was announced. It was called The Dark Knight. I remember now that seeing that Armie Hammer was going to be in this movie called The Dark Knight, which was not about Batman. And I think we might have even said then that they're going to end up changing that name. So it's apparently pretty awful. I have not seen it. I'm not going to. It seems objectively racist and boring and poorly edited. But so Armie Hammer had been taking some hits on it because what I said the other day was I didn't know about any of the accusations he had against him or whatever. I would assume that there was probably some truth to them, but once you come out of your cancellation, quote unquote, and then this is the thing you do, then I'm far more likely to just think, yeah, you're just a huge piece of shit, dude. You probably did all that shit. So he apparently, I'm seeing some people kind of say this isn't true, or that it's not super confirmed or whatever, but I don't know. It seems like it could be. Armie Hammer calls his comeback movie hateful and disgusting now, which is kind of wild. But how he made the movie, so what's the deal? Well, he claims that there's a lot of stuff that, basically Uwe Boll shot from a completely unfinished script. I don't know if that's trying to say that he's like the MCU or something, but I believe it. I think he's probably got threadbare scripts. So yeah, it says, according to Puck News, I don't know what that is. Sources close to Hammer say the actor is very upset after watching the final cut, reportedly even calling the film hateful and disgusting. The report also claims that Hammer is insisting that this isn't the film he had originally signed up for, originally titled The Dark Knight. Now his team seems to be doing damage control by reaching out to this agency, I don't know why they reach out to Puck News, and pushing back against the controversial film. His side also reportedly maintains that he knew the project leaned conservative, but didn't expect the final film's messaging to land as hard as it did, claiming Boll worked from a short script rather than a full screenplay. Hammer was, by his team's own account, willing to take almost any job after the years of struggling to find work. I think whether or not this is true, whether he's saying that or not, I don't know. But I think it's not true that he feels this way, because from what I've seen of the movie, which is by watching videos of people that have watched it, the final scene in the movie basically is him murdering an entire family, father, daughter, mother and the son, who he ostensibly is there to punish in the first place because he allegedly sexually assaulted somebody. And then once he gets into the house, he starts, like, oh, this is how you raised your kid kind of thing, and just murders all of them. Right. Every single person that he goes after is either a person of color. I think they're supposed to be Somali, maybe immigrants, or one of the politicians that supposedly, made it so they could be there. And then, he talks about the woke left being, being responsible for this kind of thing too. And then one of the last things it said in the movie is him saying to, like, in a video to the public, basically saying, I did this for you because you wouldn't do it for yourselves. And honestly, I can't really think of a more potentially harmful film message to put out. It's one thing to have something with like a bad stereotype about a person, like a people of color or a trans person or whatever, like that's one thing. But then to just almost straight up just say you should go out and hurt people and kill people too. You know what I mean? Whenever you're dealing with such a, it just seems really fucking irresponsible. And I hope the guy never gets to make a movie again. So.
Yeah. And I mean, it's complete Uwe Boll nonsense for attention.
I think he probably was seeing some diminished returns. And another thing is his tax loophole is closed now. So the thing that he built his career on in Germany is no longer a viable thing, where he could make an awful movie and still somehow able to, get investors their money back. I don't know how the whole thing worked, but it was a tax loophole in Germany, and he seized on it, and that's how we know who he is at all. So I guess I'm thinking that this is just, like, oh shit, I have to find another way to, get, I'm not a good filmmaker, I just can't do that very well, but I want to make money making movies. So what can I do? And this is what he came to. But yeah.
It's not the first time that Ball has tried this nonsense. Postal was sort of dipping his toes into the water with it.
Yep.
Which was
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just another awful film. He's an awful filmmaker, and he always has been. And
when I first heard that, like, oh wait, he's got a new movie out, and then the MAGA chuds are eating it up, and like that makes so much sense. This is a guy who's untalented and yet somehow wormed his way through the system, and by ripping it off basically to get himself to where he could be some version of successful, even though he has no talent to have earned it, and almost like he's almost successful because he's terrible, and then so that makes complete sense to me that they would find each other and be like, oh, he'd be like, oh, you're my tribe, because that's what they are. Pretty terrible.
They're too stupid to fall for this, because Uwe Boll, personally, I don't think he's got any political leanings. I think he's a complete blank slate. Well,
he's a Zionist, apparently, because that's another thing. I was going to cover this on a Saturday, and we didn't get time or whatever, but like, so little rabbit hole aside with this whole thing I started looking into was the Nazis, as in the literal ones, the ones that are openly posting about hating Jews and stuff on Twitter. They are convinced this is a psyop by the Jews, this movie, and because well, for one thing, Uwe Boll is proud Zionist, and as well as the two financiers of Quiver, the company that kind of came in last minute to distribute the thing, are also Jewish guys. I don't know if there's anything about their actual faith practices or anything like that. They do this based off of just names. You know what I mean? That's a Jewy name, so like, yeah. And then also apparently in the movie, Armie Hammer's character has some blatantly Hebrew symbols tattooed on him, and there's like a lot of lingering on those images and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like maybe Boll is, even if he's not a Nazi or anything, he's clearly not, I guess, but there's something weird going on there that he would be willing to, I don't know, kind of press these specific buttons. I think there's some real racism going on with him.
Possibly. Like I say, I genuinely think that he is completely sort of amoral in his political interests and just does whatever he's either going to get the most attention or the most people talking about him. He's basically desperate for attention. Because, I mean, some of the dreck that he's made in the past, once you get past all the sort of game adaptations, he made a film called Assault on Wall Street, which was about the financial crash, and it's about somebody taking revenge against Wall Street. It's a very anti-capitalist movie. Didn't get him the attention he desired from the left wing, so he made Postal, which was a post 9/11 film, which was equally as terrible. Yeah, it's all about getting revenge for the Al-Qaeda. It's a bit like that stupid Frank Miller comic.
Holy Terror.
Yeah. So I think this is just the next thing. He's seen that there are gullible, stupid people on the right, and he's thought, right, well, that's the market I need to concentrate on. He may well be a Zionist, but to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if that was purely an aesthetic that he had chosen to remain popular with the right. Because he's made anti-Nazi films as well. He's made anti-Nazi stuff. So he just believes in nothing. He is a true nihilist.
Well, sometimes it's I don't think I'd go that direction with being a nihilist, but sometimes I kind of like, man, I want to give up when I see something like this.
Yeah.
Facebook boomers, guys, they ruin the world for us. It's all their fault. If I was going to make a movie like Citizen Vigilante, I would just make it old people. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It would be billionaires for sure. Yeah. I wish I knew Michelle was trolling, but I don't think Michelle's trolling.
Hope so, because if you're a Christian, you must know why the year is 2026.
Yes, but
you would have to believe
the new version. They believe that American history is tied into it, though.
But you'd have to believe that there was nothing before Jesus, which is the Old Testament, which is the bit they love.
Well, no. See, they love the violence and punishment part of it, but otherwise they appeal to, in other examples, the Jesus parts. But it's like they say, yeah, I'm a Christian, I love Christ and stuff, and then couple that with the dashing babies on the rocks and stuff, kind of thing, and don't have shellfish or do it with men. Yeah, it's a mishmash.
I just think what the internet has shown us is that there are a lot of stupid people out there, and making it easy for them to get access to the internet has exposed this, which I guess is good in a way, but also bad.
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's not a psyop in the sense that it's not the Jews or whatever. But it is, I think, like we were saying, Yuval knows he was pressing buttons, and I think that's very intentional. And it coming out at the time that it did, it's kind of the same week that the Supreme Court. I know this wasn't on purpose, but like the Supreme Court ruled on birthright citizenship. Thankfully, not in favor of the character of the movie. Not what he would want.
I mean, just to touch on that for a moment, the 3 judges that voted against, for them to call themselves constitutionalists in any way, shape, or form is bullshit.
Yeah, they're
bullshit.
You know what? They are just not even trying to hide anything. They're not trying to even create a false, pretense for the reasons they're doing shit anymore. Which is kind of scary when you think about it, if they don't feel they have to. But it is pretty fucked up. We have to somehow clean this court out or just stuff it full of, legit people. But, this stuff that I have this video of.
Looking on the bright side of this situation, if the right want to claim Uwe Boll as their director of choice to make the anti-woke films and we get Christopher Nolan, I'll take that deal. I'll take that deal every day of the week.
Here is this video apparently came out on Easter Sunday. This was a private event that Trump held for, I guess, big dollar donors, I imagine, were the only ones in the room. And so I guess he felt a little relaxed and like he could kind of speak his mind more, which he's doing more and more these days because he has no filter. It's just deteriorating along with his brain. But this is I feel like this should be just what the Democrats play on a loop until 2020, because some of the stuff he says in here is like, wow, man, that's bad even for you. That's like a bad thing to admit. And partially around about judges, which is why I thought
I love this guy. He's so nice to me. Every time I watch, and I appreciate. We're not supposed to be seduced that way, right? But I am. When somebody's nice to me, I love that person. Even if they're bad people, I couldn't care less. I'll fight to the end for them. So I appreciate it.
just like, I mean, we know that, we've seen it. Nobody is, I guess maybe his fans are deluded, but like everybody generally knows this. Is just kind of crazy to hear him flat out say it.
I mean, he's even starting to sound like the baby brain baby that he is. He's starting to sound like a baby now.
Yeah.
Supreme Court's not been acting very well, actually. And Republicans, judges, and justices, they always want to show that they're independent. I don't care if Trump appointed me. I don't care if it doesn't make any difference to me. I'm voting against him because they want to show their independence. Stupid people. Pam and I were over there with some people. We watched, and actually nobody knew what the hell was going on. Simple subject. I hope you're all watching that, Scott, because we had some asks, and we spend trillions of dollars on NATO, and when we need them, which we never do, we didn't need them here either. To be honest, I was really asking because I wanted to see what they do. We didn't need them. We blasted the hell out of them, out of Iran, and the last thing I needed was NATO stepping in our way, because they're a paper tiger. But so we didn't need them, but I asked anyway. And they probably think I'm the worst salesman ever. I was the worst. They would have much preferred Franklin Graham or somebody that's a good salesman than Trump, because I'd say we'd love to have some help. Oh, President, I'm not sure that we can. Oh, that's okay. You don't want to do it? Well, if we. Oh, that's okay. You don't have to do it. So he gets off, probably says, man, that was easier than I thought. Then I call up France, Macron, whose wife treats him extremely badly. And still recovering from the right to the jaw.
What the fuck, man? Just what the actual fuck?
See there the lie unraveling in his own head and him desperately clawing back. Mm-hmm. Well, we needed NATO, so I asked them to step in, but we didn't really need them.
Yeah.
Because then if I did say I needed them, then that would mean I needed them. But yeah. It's just completely, it's those sorts of lies. It's like the shit with the reflecting pool.
Yes.
Him saying proudly before that he did this, he hired these guys, he didn't bother to sort of try to do it legitimately. He just got guys that he knew could do the job, and they did such a great job that you couldn't even cut the reflecting pool with a knife. It was that good a job. And then weeks later, it all goes tits up because they were incompetent. And so he's now claiming that somebody cut it with a knife.
Which is just obviously absurd.
Yep.
I actually have a clip that shows what some people on, I guess, TikTok, they acted out what he described. I mean, it's as absurd as you would expect. They're like literally, because he's saying that they cut this 350-foot, thing down the middle. And so like they're in a pool and he's kind of pretending he's just got a big knife and he's walking 350 feet through the pool, cutting it down the middle. And it's like, Jesus. I mean, it's stupid on its face, but seeing it acted out is a whole other thing. By the way, oh yeah, wanted to shout out this channel. that is apparently a viewer of ours, and seemed to take some inspiration or at least some content from us. And no, I've seen other videos. The guy clearly has watched this a few times at least. But it is, what's the name of it? Slam Begad, is that it? I think
So. Yeah, I'm not
Slam
entirely
Begad.
sure how it's pronounced.
I'll pull his channel up. He's got, not enough subs because it's really hard to make it whenever you're calling out the guys that just game the algorithm. And yeah. Let's see here. Yep, Slam Begad. That's it. Digital Truth Hunter. And as much as it might sound like it, he's not a chud based on that. So he, covers drinker stuff. He covers stuff outside of culture war or movie crap anyway, as well. But he, check out this right here.
Talking about the audience reviews, which is the only semi-reliable barometer for quality these days. Audience reviews. Audience reviews. Audience reviews. Oh.
It's so amazing how you try to embarrass me. My daughter being suspended from school again?
A vanity project's a vapid, self-indulgent, meaningless, horribly paced conglomeration of different ideas.
I'm serious, the world's our oyster girl and we can do whatever we want.
Poorly written girl bosses.
Names of your teammates in your evac plan.
So they made it out, huh?
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't have to. You wouldn't be asking me if you didn't need to find where they were, and if they go
weighed down by stodgy exposition dumps that go on forever and mostly reiterate stuff that we already know.
Great observation, Will. I never noticed how astute you are until I put your clips next to your film. Anyway, thanks to the guys at Modern Audience for showing me Drinker's film before the release, so I get to be one of the first people to mock the shit out of it.
Girl Boss, an origin story. Who, for some reason, looks older when she's playing a teenager.
Anyway, I don't need to say much because Will's going to do most of the heavy lifting for me, right, Will?
Definitely.
If you're there for us, we'll be there for you.
Did you forget something? This is my house.
An endless exposition of no consequence.
But you will respect me.
Respect my authority!
Clunky dialogue.
The rest we can hash out in the flat out.
I'm sorry, what the fuck did Ryan Fake just say?
The rest we can hash out in the flat out.
One more time.
The rest we can hash out in the flat out.
The rest we can hash out in the Fladoke. I'm not even fucking about. That is unintelligible to me. I use TurboScribe to get a transcript of my videos because it saves time writing out the subtitles, and I use the best option, and this is what it thinks Drake said.
The rest we can hash out in the Fladoke.
What the hell does that mean? I don't fucking know. It's bad, I think.
And Ryan Fake has a few lines that I can't understand properly because he can't keep his accent consistent. Telling me if you honestly understand this the first time round.
We move. Switching up.
His name is, I'll put this name up on the screen in just a second.
Vision, 5 mix spread. Let's go.
Gibberish.
Alpha, hang in there. I'm coming for you.
This actor didn't deliver an unconvincing performance.
Am I sensing some sarcasm?
You're in trouble now, little girl. And little girls with bad attitudes.
Why do these dicks say little girl? It makes her sound like a child. Little lady is slightly better, but little girl is just creepy. Also, check out this illogical dialogue.
No, sir, I was
You don't need to sir me, Frost. You're not in the army anymore. And little girls with bad attitudes who want to play soldier.
Dingus, you just said she left the army, so obviously she doesn't want to play soldier because she's working for the CIA now. If she wanted to play soldier, she would have left the fucking army!
How does that feel, motherfucker?
That fucking face, man.
TikTok shitbird.
TikTok shitbird.
My favorite line for all the wrong reasons.
Right. I mean, it reminds me of, I don't know if anybody's ever watched Trailer Park Boys, but there's a character in Trailer Park Boys called Mr. Leahy. He is he starts out, he's the kind of manager or security or whatever. He takes different roles, but throughout the whole thing, he is kind of mostly a foil for the main characters. He's, technically the villain, I guess, he's the antagonist. He's a very drunk, increasingly overtly gay man who is constantly, I mean, very, very drunk. Like most of his shenanigans have to do with the fact that he is just a fucking disgusting alcoholic. And he, but he always has these, like every, I don't know, maybe once or twice a season. I'm not sure how many. It's been a long time. He would have some scene where he's like describing, you know, these shit birds and shit pigeons. It's like some shit something. There's always shit involved, and then it's like very colorful descriptions involving, you know, shit whatever. And yeah, it reminds me of that. TikTok shit birds. I can see Mr. Leahy saying that shit.
Bloody hell, Kira, me thinks you need a chiropractor. The fuck's up with your neck?
We can do this all day. By the time we're through, you'll be begging me to kill you.
Oh, I'm so scared.
Right now we have a compromised asset and a shitload of nuclear fuel to recover.
Nuclear. Can't fucking believe that, man.
Nuclear.
That if I was the critical drinker, which why the fuck would I be? But if I was anybody like that and was known for what he's known for, and then I decided to do a thing, this would be the exact kind of stuff that I would be going crazy over trying to make sure it didn't happen and correcting it. You know what I mean? Like I guess maybe I have integrity. Even if I was a grifter, I would have some level of integrity. I wouldn't want to at least be seen as a hypocrite. I don't know.
And I know that writing's hard. Writing a story is hard, which is why I think it's amazing credit that anything gets made that is watchable. But if I wrote this, what was it? One draft? Just wrote it out in one day and thought, yeah, that'll do. Take a second go at it.
What do you think would be worse if we found out that it was just one draft or if it was like 6? You know?
I think either's bad. One is lazy, the other's incompetent. So, take your pick. But I mean, structurally, you could say it's the editor's fault, although I suspect it was written to jump back and forth in time incomprehensibly. But the actual dialogue in these scenes is so cliched. It's just trope. It's like you've fed trope TV into an AI to give me all the generic lines.
I mean, well, it is. I was thinking about how this short film and then All in Good Time are very good as far as they embody the writer very well. Like in what so Drinker is, just a overly aggressive, fucking performative masculine toxic douche bro who always talks about how the movies he prefers and loves are just the straight down the middle, in many cases, just even though I may love the movie, there's a lot of tropes in like Predator and stuff like that. In some cases that establish the tropes, but they're still there. And then so that's what his thing ends up being, right? And then All in Good Time is written exactly like I would expect, as far as the writer clearly thinks very highly of himself, but has no skill whatsoever, and has probably never really even tried to craft much of a narrative before. If he has, he hasn't put a lot into it, and so I think it's pretty incredible when you think about it. That's how I know that they did write these. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe that Drinker wrote this, and I believe that Mahler wrote this. So he has other videos. I grabbed a couple of them just to kind of look at, because he goes off on some pretty good stuff. Some of it seems familiar. Here's where Nerdrotic exposes critical drinkers' woke book.
Drinker's friends say his writing is comically bad, stupid, laughably unbelievable, and just like the modern Disney Marvel feminist trash. And maybe I paraphrased a bit there, but it's pretty close to their criticism of their friends' novels.
You'll see. Just wait.
I suppose technically, by their own definition, critical drinker is woke.
And I just started laughing. Get the fuck out of here. She weighs 105 pounds soaking wet. That guy was armored, has a gun, is bigger and stronger than her, but a couple of elbows to the face and he's done.
It's not believable.
It's stupid. And anybody trying to defend this scene, this is as MCU as it gets. It's so fucking modern Disney Marvel.
This is Critical Drinker's first novel, Redemption, published in 2012. Now, see if you notice any similarities to the things his friends were just criticising.
Kira Frost, 5 foot 2 inches tall and weighing no more than 100 pounds. He'd once watched her literally throw herself at an armed man twice her size and many times her strength. He'd almost felt sorry for the guy, seeing the brutal and fiercely aggressive way she wrestled him down.
I wonder why none of his friends call him out for his comically bad, stupid, unbelievable feminist writing. Is it because they're incapable of honest criticism?
Yes.
Is it because they don't genuinely care about the things they say?
Yes.
Is it because they're hypocritical, pandering grifters?
Yes.
Anyway, let's recap Turdrotic's criticism with Critical Drinker's book to compare.
She weighs 105 pounds,
100 pounds,
has a gun,
an armed man,
bigger and stronger than her,
twice her size and many times her strength,
but a couple of elbows to the face and he's done.
She wrestled him down.
And of course, Critical Drinker wrote Kira into his short film, and do you think any of his...
Because I think we briefly talked about this, but yeah, he is armoured, which is why she hits him in the place he's not armoured. Armour works on the bits that the armour is, not the bits that the armour isn't, which is why she elbows him in the nose.
Right.
And if you elbow anyone in the nose, regardless of their size, it hurts.
Yeah, and that's that's what's how you know how shameless Drinker really is, because he knows better. He actually does know better, which is it's kind of, I guess, in a weird way satisfying to have that answered, because there's always a question of like, are they this stupid or are they just dishonest? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible that he changed his view on things over a period of time. I guess that's possible. Maybe he used to think when he wrote that book in 2012 or whatever that it's, completely plausible, but then he just got literally stupider over time, I guess. And
yeah, but then he did also put it in his movie, so
true. I was trying to find so depending on what channel you're watching this on, there was one of them is titled something about Drinker getting attacked by his friends. I can't find that Mahler thing right now, but like, do you know what I'm talking about? See it?
Yeah, it's in our Discord.
Might be in general instead of the showcast. Or maybe it's in.
Yes, it is. It's in general. It's
cool.
From.
Thank you. There we go. Yeah. So, you got Nerdrotic attacking him here. And obviously not directly and not on purpose, but this is what happens whenever you just have your job is to be contrarian and be negative about everything, essentially, that on a long enough timeline, and then one of your friends starts, for some reason, trying his hand at filmmaking as well, you're going to end up saying something that just technically applies to your buddy too. And this keeps happening, apparently. I just started noticing it. It was like, oh, shit. Here is Mahler. So somebody had said, I'm sad, but not because I wanted this movie to win. I just need Critical Drinker to lose. Pathetic way to live, Mahler says. And then some hero, here is a Critical Drinker literally saying in his video, I want Daily Wire's Snow White to win so Disney's Snow White can lose. But you're not going to call Drinker pathetic, just like you too chicken shit to tell him how bad his movie Rogue Elements was. Yeah. And look.
Yeah, and if you remember as well, it just occurred to me this Rogue Elements business where Mahler makes that pathetic, sniveling response when somebody asks if they're going to cover it, and he can't because Critical Drinker's his best friend. There was a time when the mantra of EFAP was no sacred cows.
Yeah.
None at all. Doesn't matter what it is, who made it, how much the other people in EFAP love it. There are no sacred cows. Looks like there is. Looks like there is a sacred cow. A Highland cow, if you will.
And I mean, if you watch this show long enough, there is a channel-specific canon for why that is. That's because, and this is just in our head canon here, at one point, Critical Drinker, which this part's actually true, was charged with assaulting a small boy, an 11-year-old boy. He was charged with beating up a little boy. That's true. And then eventually, the charges were withdrawn. And so, you know, our canon is that that little boy was Mahler, and that, you know, he basically told, he kind of put Drinker over barrel. You know, he's a clever little fucker. And he said, you know, if you, let me be your YouTube son, basically. And, you know, I'll drop the charges. So that's what happened. But I've also got one of Ryan Kinnell taking him to task too. We'll finish watching this one real quick.
Had the balls to critique this scene where she takes multiple hits from a man twice her size and still has the strength to hold back a knife to the neck.
No.
And after taking 4 punches to the face, she looked like this.
It's not believable.
It's stupid.
And if you think they're simply ignorant of Drinker's book and film, okay, but Critical Drinker knows he wrote a 100-pound woman overpower a man twice her size and several times her strength, and yet he still says...
You've often heard me joke about petite actresses beating the shit out of guys twice their size, but in this case, it's literally true.
She wrestled him down.
Also, Critical Drinker wrote another woman disarming and dislocating a man's arm, and this man is a soldier, an elite CIA agent and trained boxer. And yet I haven't seen any of these people laugh at that either. But they should, because Critical Drinker's novels are worse than the things they criticize in movies and TV shows.
You want to be a grifter?
Grifter. Yes.
Subscribe
to Slap. Of Superman 2025, a movie Critical Drinker presumably watched because he reviewed it.
He likes to go and party on other planets. Planets with red suns. Because of our metabolism, you can't get drunk on a planet with a yellow sun.
I'm not entirely convinced on how like alcohol even affects Kryptonians. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but like sure, let's go with it.
So you would have to. So they did say in the movie she goes to systems with red suns so she can actually get drunk.
Yeah.
But it's actually drinking here. Like, it's not... Like, I would kind of like, what's the point in drinking alcohol if it literally doesn't have any effect on you?
That's an illuminating clip, isn't it, Will? Because the end of the movie that you presumably watched told you that information that you clearly don't know. And Ryan's face tells me exactly what he's thinking. I just told you something and it instantly fell out of your mind. And this reminded me of a joke Rod Gilbert told that fits Will perfectly.
It was like talking to a shredder. You know when you talk to somebody and you know that everything you're saying to them is going in one ear like that and then coming out the other end just going...
Yes, Ryan knows that very well. And now Ryan will explain the same thing again as if he didn't explain it less than 10 fucking minutes ago.
Why does she need to take a spaceship to get places when she can just literally fly wherever she wants to go?
So, all right. So if she is in a place that has a red sun, she probably will not have her power set, right? Yeah. So that's why her Kryptonian physiology, which would not prevent her from getting drunk in one place, might allow her to get drunk in a different place because that yellow sun isn't activating her cells.
That's tremendously helpful from a writing point of view, isn't it? Because then you could just have her be a normal person.
Maybe you think Will didn't watch Superman 2025 and had...
That's so fucking, like, imagine being a writer and complaining about something that was created in a narrative that allows you to do something unique and you know, creates a unique challenge for your character, right? Like, what kind of, like, you just have to not be a serious writer to think that that's somehow a negative, right?
Yeah, I mean, it defies all logic. I mean, not only has it obviously been part of the Superman canon for like forever, since the beginning, basically, but the reason she goes to a planet with a red sun is to get drunk, even though it depowers her. If it didn't happen, she wouldn't do it. If red suns had made no difference, if they got their power from something else other than Earth's yellow sun, she wouldn't do it. And so nobody would write that story. So this is just baffling to me. It's like, how does he explain that his Ryan Drake character is so good at being an army soldier man? Because he's highly trained. Well, isn't that convenient that he's highly trained? No, it's not convenient.
Well, he's not highly trained in speaking. We know that.
Well, that's true.
You know, and I was under the impression that Ryan Drake was more of like a spy. Maybe I just had the wrong impression originally. Like he's more right, but it seems he's more like paramilitary type of, you know, covert.
He's whatever the writer wants him to be. How convenient. But I'd never seen the second part of that clip before, so kudos to that. I'd only seen the first part where Kinnell explains it and then Drinker instantly forgets. I didn't realize
know
he
it happened
explained it again.
Right, that's crazy.
That is brilliant, though.
So, like,
why does she need a ship? This is why she needs a ship.
The conflict with what's happened with Ryan here is that Ryan, he's dishonest. He is a grifter, yes, but Ryan is a true, you know, very proud, out and out straight up hate monger. And if you are, like that time that he kind of got onto Jeremy Griggs for, saying the quiet part out loud, he gets really upset because he takes his hate content very seriously. He takes the ability to make money being a hateful piece of shit. It's fucking his lifeblood. So if you start kind of threatening that by being like all willy-nilly with the narrative or like not paying attention to the details of things, and you just kind of start accidentally exposing the grift, and Ryan Kendall's going to get on you, man. In a weird way. No, I don't respect him for that. I was going to say that, but I'm not.
I mean, he could have easily just nodded and agreed there. So I have to give him. So I don't know what his thinking was, because that's usually what they do, of explaining it and then explaining it again. I don't know why he's done that. Why he's embarrassed to the drinker so much.
Maybe it's just in that case he feels like it's so blatant that if he didn't like kind of nip it in the bud right then, that it would be bad for Drinker or all of them or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, does Drinker think that Superman's entire origin story is bullshit? Because why did he need a spaceship to come to Earth as a baby when he could have just flown there as a baby?
Yeah. Oh, why didn't his parents just make a bigger spaceship to get on and go, to Earth too?
Why did they even need a spaceship? Why didn't they just fly there?
Oh, it's real convenient that Krypton it just exploded right after he was born, right? That's
very convenient that they didn't have their superpowers on Krypton as well, because they all could have just flown off the planet then.
Oh, it's convenient that he happened to land in this farm, in Kansas, and he had these two nice old people that couldn't have kids. Very convenient. Very convenient. Yeah, man, that's what's called writing. You contrive. All writing is contrivances. The point is that you do it in a way that it doesn't seem like a contrivance.
Yes, if a thing doesn't happen that would have been necessary for the story to happen, there is no story. If again, going back to Die Hard, if John McClane hadn't turned up at that party, none of the events of that party would have happened in the same way they did. In Predator, if Dutch hadn't gone to the jungle with his team, the events of that film wouldn't have been the same events that we saw. So it's all very convenient. Every movie is convenience because that's what the story is.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously he's just a fucking grifting dumb piece of shit. But for Critical Drinker and any of his fans that are watching, I just want to say hi, welcome, and
fuck off. Fuck right off forever with the power of 1,000 dicks, okay? Fuck off. Fuck right off forever.
Forgot I had it set to loop. My bad.
Although you can't argue with the fact that Critical Drinker knows Terminator like nobody else. That's one thing. He knows every single one of those films, even the last one that you hated because there was a strong woman in it, which is something that's never happened in a Terminator film.
Well, see, I'm actually going to challenge that real quick if I can.
Okay, interesting to hear this alternate point of view.
So this is a post from Facebook. Don't ask me how I ended up over there. I don't use it. I do have an account, barely. But yeah, I try not to go over there too often. And it may be, granted, this might not be the drinker that posted this, but it is from his account. So, that's something. Where the hell did it go? Damn it, I just had it. And it disappeared. Son of a bitch. Shit.
While you're looking for it, just chat is asking about Ryan's acting skills, and that's a good point. I seem to remember that Epic Universe, is that what it was called? I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
Epic Verse.
Yeah.
They were going to pump out a series of films challenging the current Hollywood status quo. Yeah.
Well, then come to find out they weren't even films; they were just like 5-minute short films, which maybe that's what got kind of folded into this or something. Maybe that's how they're justifying it. I don't know. You got people that are ostensibly tied to that doing these drinker movies now.
See Greengrass though. I'm desperate to see Greengrass. Where is?
But they seem to like.
Greengrass.
They seem to just kind of push what's his name out of it. Goddamn Epic Mike. Where's he at? Does he even stream with them anymore? What's his deal?
I don't know. I didn't really ever get to know him as a personality because he had none. So it's not something we really covered that much. But yeah, I don't know what. I know that the channel quickly gave up on actually trying to make films because it turns out it's difficult.
Yep.
Even though they were going to literally set Hollywood on fire based on their trailer that they made with the coolest special effects.
Okay, here we go. I found it again. Okay, so over on the Critical Drinkers Facebook account, on June 12th, he posted a thing that stood out as like, wait, something, I didn't immediately get what it was that was off, but I knew something was not right. So it is a video that is going around being shared by Past Factory that says, fun fact, all Schwarzenegger movies are dubbed by Thomas Dannenberg, who also does the German voices of Sylvester Stallone and John Travolta. And that, I'm thinking that must be referring to in Germany, right? In Germany and Austria, probably, right?
Yeah.
So his Schwarzenegger's voice is, but I mean, and it is true that early in his career, I think maybe 1-2 movies, maybe just one, his voice was literally overdubbed by, someone else. And that seems to be what was seized upon here. And the situation is very confused in this poster's mind. If we're assuming it's Drinker, then yeah, that makes sense to me. But he says, this explains why the human who inspired the Terminator has a deep American South accent in Terminator Genesis. So never mind the fact that that's not even what the post was talking about.
Yeah.
Right? That's not what it's about. It's about dubbed in Germany or in Austria and shit. But also, that's not the movie that was in, or it wasn't in a movie. Technically, it was a deleted scene, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was a deleted scene that was originally written for Terminator 3 and then got cut out because it was just they realized it was a lame joke.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed the fact that it existed, that you could watch it on the, the DVD back in the day. I thought that was fun, but basically what it was Arnold, and he's in like some military gear, and you get to see the guy that inspired the visual image of the body style of the T-800, which is some guy in the military, and then whenever he speaks, he's in that one deleted scene, he's overdubbed with a very cartoonishly deep Southern accent, Southern U.S. as he says there, and it's just like, for one thing, that's in Terminator 3, or the deleted scenes of Terminator 3, not Genesis. And it's just, man, the Dunning-Kruger is off the scales with that post. It's, I guess, what all there is to it. Very confident.
The extra punchline, which is a bit of a hat on a hat, is that the guy who says, "Don't worry, we'll fix it," is a weedy-looking guy who has Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
You know what? I'm going to take back what I said there. There is a connection here. I didn't read the text in the actual video right there till right now. My bad. Look, I made a mistake. It's still really stupid just because it's not the right movie. But apparently that is Arnold's accent is a kind of like the equivalent to the hillbilly accent in German, I guess.
Yeah, but that doesn't really explain why the human who inspired the Terminator has a deep American Southern accent, because I don't think it could be the origin of the joke.
It could be.
The joke is that it's just a gag.
Because it would be funny to have Arnold with that voice, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and then have a weedy guy with Arnold's voice.
Speaking of, oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Speaking of Terminator 3, that's a pretty frustrating movie. I remember when it came out, I really was excited about it. Terminator 2 was my favorite movie for a long time. And that one came out and just, man, really strong ending. But other than that, just kind of.
Yeah. And the ending kind of undermines the second film as well, which is sort of a hopeful ending, which Cameron sort of crafted so well into the story. It's just, it was all a bit of a damp squib. I mean, I was hesitant going in because John Connor had to be recast, and they decided to kill off Linda Hamilton, presumably because either she didn't want to do it or they didn't want to pay her enough. So they just killed her off in a kind of weak way. But Arnold was in it, but then the film was just awful. Just dull.
Yeah, and like all the action was really, whereas T2 had really kind of visceral action, you could kind of feel it, right? There was just like this cartoonish, rubbery nature to the violence in that one.
Yeah, well, it's action that serves the drama in Terminator 2, and in 3, it's just look, big stuff blowing up.
So I guess really the one other thing that I forgot to talk about back when we talked about the movie, Elon Musk is now apparently fancies himself as a film commentator, I suppose, because he's responsible for the goddamn U-Bowl movie, even knowing what it is, because he posted it on Twitter, just posted the whole movie, let people watch it. I don't know if that's a great marketing strategy, but maybe it is. Maybe it worked. I mean, I definitely saw the movie listed as number 2 on Amazon for several days. But nonetheless, so he's been commenting on the Odyssey as well. And so this is a fun little stupid aside, but he was apparently responding to a historian named Tom Holland, who is Tom Holland. The actor is actually in the Odyssey. I just thought, by the way, that he said that this is was his last chance to play a boy, and I'm wondering if that's accurate. Like, because I could still see him playing pretty young, even if not like a boy, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's got that sort of Michael J. Fox thing where he hasn't really aged in the entire time. I mean, if you look side by side, probably between this first Spider-Man and this one, you could tell that he's got older, but not noticeably so. But yeah, fun fact: the Tom Holland, the historian, he's got a very popular podcast called "The Rest Is History," and
I wasn't familiar with him.
Yeah, he's quite well known in the podcasting world because "The Rest Is History" is quite a big podcast. So he's a historian by trade, and so he knows about the Odyssey. I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
He doesn't know that much about the actor Tom Holland's career, because they don't talk about.
But
Spider-Man
there's also the director, right? There's a director.
There is the director of the first The Problem Child.
Was it director Burbs too, or no?
No, it's Joe Dante.
Okay.
Tom Holland directed, I think, Psycho
Monster
2.
Squad. Monster Squad.
No, that's Fred Dekker.
Damn. Okay.
Tom Holland, he's a horror director, though, predominantly. He directed the first Chucky film, Child's Play.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. So,
and to answer this, I mean, no, because I mean, he was apparently allegedly more involved with. Well, you know what? I can't say that because actually, look, for the most part, I think Dark Fate is a solid movie. It's just, at that point, they had already fucked up the, comeback and they it just, I don't know. But if you had to call it a trilogy and you say, what's your third movie in the trilogy going to be? That would be the one, Dark Fate. Still not nearly as good as anything before it, but it's a solid enough movie. But he was involved with that to some degree. I guess he had some oversight in the script, maybe. But
yeah, I know that he said about Terminator 3 that he didn't want to make it because he said everything that he needed to say in the first two. So I don't.
But it was the first time that he was willing to kind of like put his name behind it, where instead of just go, nah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so here's this Elon Musk, who, if you wonder what his motives for anything is at any given time, it is to, basically never be held accountable for the many crimes that he's definitely done, as far as financial and maybe potentially others, the ones we know about and the ones that we don't know about, and also to save his fragile ego from ever having to, feel like he's the odd man out ever again.
Yeah, possibly the fragilest of egos.
So he says, Tom Holland is such a cuck. This was in response to the historian Tom Holland. When I first saw this, I was like, whoa, no, what the fuck, dude? No, not about Tom Holland, the actor, but it was in response to that the historian talking about the Odyssey. So therein lies confusion that continues on from here, despite the correction or the clarification of the community note. Because wouldn't you believe it, Elon's fans, they don't give a shit. So there's just everything in the replies is all about Tom Holland, the actor, for the most part. And then a few people calling out how stupid those people are and how much they don't, I've lost faith in humanity, that nobody realizes he's not talking about the actor. But you get some wild ass takes about Spider-Man in response to this, because once again, people are reacting to what they think is about Spider-Man. And then now their hero has called, in their minds, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, a cuck. So there's jumping off from that, you get things like, where's it at? Here we go. Yeah. Spider-Man's always been a cuck character. Never mind the fact that he's missing the hyphen, man. Spider-Man says this in the comics himself. If you do it without the hyphen, it just sounds weird. Spider-Man's love for MJ remains unrequited, and that's not even true. And he allows the powerful, confident, and sometimes villainous men to take his love. So in Tom's, like, what? For one thing, they literally got married.
Yeah.
They were, you know, his love was never unrequited. They basically dated on and off. I mean, if anything, he's the one that fucked up the relationship by being Spider-Man, you know, in the comics and in various incarnations otherwise.
I mean, they were married for a long time, realistically, in comic book terms. Their marriage was a pretty big deal. It was a pretty big comic book. So if happy marriage for several years means unrequited, then it's a weird take.
Yeah, so
I'm sensing that this might be a middle-aged divorced man.
Yeah. So, but then, you know, if you zero in on like the part about, you know, powerful, confident, and sometimes villainous men take his love. So he's talking about, in every instance, a guy who has kidnapped and probably assaulted Mary Jane, but only sometimes is that guy villainous, right? Not every time. Okay. And then I guess you know, this goes back to I've told the anecdote before about being in like kindergarten or first grade and getting really mad and getting in an argument with this kid that kept saying Superman can't fly without his cape. And I was like, that's not true. That's stupid. That's, you know, and it's just this impulse that still exists in me to just be like, I really fucking hate when casuals talk so confidently about stuff that clearly they're wrong about. Obviously,
I do find ironic that Elon calls Tom Holland a cuck, whichever one it is, and his fans immediately try and suck his dick as hard as they can.
Yep. I mean,
as if they wouldn't let him impregnate their wife with the weird turkey baster deal that he has going on, because apparently Elon doesn't have a working penis, which is a rumor I choose to believe is true.
I've heard it too. I mean, look, Ashley St. Clair, that there's not a lot she hasn't talked about whenever she's done, you know, interviews and stuff, but whenever she was asked specifically about that, she evoked her, you know, NDA basically, that she has with him. And that's kind of telling in itself, I feel like if it wasn't true, she could just say no, right? Or I don't know, but just to kind of be like, no, I can't talk about that. This, you know, because I got, you know, I mean, it's understandable. She's got wrapped up with you know, custody stuff, and hopefully he never gets custody of that kid. She definitely seems like the better parent in that case. But so I kind of want to find that post now, because there was a couple of comments underneath that Musk one, were literally just some old dude saying, I love you, man. You know, just straight up, I love you. You're great. And it's like, oh my God, that's pretty sad.
I mean, assuming that they're not bots that Elon has had generated to
might be
stroke his fragile ego, because he doesn't have any friends, and that's the saddest thing. The richest man in the world, briefly a trillionaire, has no friends.
Well, I mean, speaking of, here's I know you didn't do this on purpose, I don't think, but check this out.
Longer following Ian Miles because he posted Ashley St. Clair is now trying to smash Hassan Piker, third baby on the way, I guess.
Oh,
and Elon got so mad he unfollowed him.
How the fuck? Wait a second. Elon Musk tracks that kind of shit? That's crazy, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's so pathetic.
It's so
dude, what
funny.
the fuck is the point of having that much money? These guys suck so much dick, it's crazy.
Know.
Just go fucking, like, go to a, like,
Island.
Island, but everyone's
Not-
of age. MILF Island.
Yeah,
I've pitched this before. Go have an awesome time, but these guys don't know how to. They don't actually ever feel good. They don't know what feeling good is. They just know fucking winning and like competing and like thinking of happiness as a zero-sum game they have to take from other people.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a very good video that I'll see if I can remember to link it. But channel called Barry or just Gary, and nonetheless, the guy does a deep dive on the whole zombie, this zombie genre. That like basically he does the math, and between the initial movie with the zombies in it at all, and then like 2012, there was like something like I don't know, 60 or 70 zombie things, and then from there until like more recently. That's much smaller window of time. There's just exploded, and he kind of goes into the history of, kind of cultural, the zeitgeist of like, the culture during the Cold War. You had stuff like body snatchers and like the idea that aliens are going to come and replace or whatever, and that zombies is a kind of a stand-in for, or is literally a stand-in for like social media algorithms. Nonetheless, he talks about. Maybe it's not even the same video. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm confusing two videos. But in another one, he talks about how being a billionaire, studies show it literally just erodes your empathy. Like it just literally does. And science has showed it. And it just makes all the sense in the world. And I mean, he's got a clip in that video that I choose to believe was that Elon was being sincere, but it's from like 2011 or something, 2009. I don't know. While he was rich, but still before he was rejected by the mainstream, I think is what really fucked Elon Musk up, right? He was desperate to be liked and accepted. And so he was, doing all the things that basically could appeal to a superficial minded liberal that, he's like Tony Stark, that kind of thing. But then it started to be known that he's not really the guy who invents anything. He's never invented anything. He's just the guy who was born into money and has made a couple of smart decisions with that money, which is easy to do, by the way, when you can afford financial advisors.
Yeah. I mean, the way I've always explained or sort of tried to explain the Elon Musk situation is it's a bit like Biff Tannen with the Sports Almanac, but without having the Sports Almanac.
Yeah.
If you placed a series of unlikely bets that all came off. I mean, considering there's 8 billion people in the world, one person could feasibly do this. I mean, there was a story a while back about, I think it was an Australian guy who had basically bet on a horse race and picked the place of every single horse in that like 10 horse race. It's incredibly rare. And he won like 10 million Australian dollars or something. It's like, that's just luck. And everybody understands that sort of gambling is just luck. What Elon did is he just gambled and he got lucky. He gambled on PayPal working out and it did. But there were hundreds of other companies that he could have invested in that went belly up. And he would have not had any financial risk because he was already rich. But we never would have heard of him. And
I mean,
someone was always going to be Elon Musk.
Yep. So like a SpaceX, and I think maybe Tesla. Yeah, Tesla for sure is the one I was thinking of. Maybe SpaceX too. Basically, each of those at different points got to the point where they were essentially about to no longer be viable, and then he got really lucky in some way or lied. That's the main thing he's done with like Tesla, for example. Every single year for 15 years or so, he's talked about we're just right around the corner from completely autonomous self-driving vehicles and stuff, and then come to find out that it doesn't happen because he has a long time ago committed to the idea of basically reinventing the technology that already exists that could he could have already been using this technology because he wants it to be more like I guess so there's like camera based is what exists already, right, where it's like visual things. Not perfect, but it works to a degree. I wouldn't trust it very much, but he's wanting to do it where it's more like sonar or some shit, and it's just not gonna work. He hasn't, maybe it will one day, but like they haven't been able to do it, and because he's so dead set on that, that's why they haven't actually made it happen yet. But nonetheless, they've still, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, they've started putting out cars that can do some degree of self-driving or whatever, and then they promote that as if it's like the thing he's been saying is coming all this time, and it's not that. and it's also not fucking safe. And yeah, lots of people have died, all because he lies to get investments and shit. And it's what he's done over and over again. Pretty pathetic. But speaking of Tom Holland, this is a completely unrelated to any of this stuff, but it's fun.
Greatest human beings that ever lived. We did a film about 7 or 8 years ago. That was where both Tom did his audition for Spider-Man, and I did my audition for Punisher. We actually made each other's audition tapes on that film. He would say, I'm Spider-Man. He really believed he was gonna get it. And I was like, there's probably a lot of people that want to be Spider-Man. I mean, you're super talented and all, but I was like, the guys are kind of against you, but like, yeah, let's make the tape,
He's the best Spider-Man ever, for sure.
Ever, without a doubt. And the thing is, he's also just this insanely good athlete. And I will take credit that in his audition tape, he did this thing where he sort of slided into the scene, and I gave him the note, Tom, maybe you should sort of run up that wall and do like a double backflip and then start the scene. And he was like, yeah, you think I should do that? That's not too much. And I was like, I don't think any of these other fools are able to do that. And he in fact did that. So it's not that I take responsibility
you should
for him, but like a little, right? Like a little.
That's fun,
Yeah, but that's the perfect example of what I was saying as well. There's a world where Tom Holland didn't get cast as Spider-Man, and somebody else did it, and somebody else did a great job, because he's not the only person that could have done that role. He's just very good at it. I mean, in Elon's case, he's not very good at anything other than getting gullible people on Wall Street to buy his bullshit. But then I think that's a sunk cost fallacy anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's in hindsight maybe it's up there with one of the top 5 most cringy things that the MCU ever did, right?
Yeah,
including him in there as if he's anything. But I mean, look, I at that point in history, I believed I thought he was the IRL Tony Stark too. I bought into the marketing bullshit. But
I don't want to take credit for this because it's sort of 50-50 amongst people I know as well, but I never liked him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's what was I gonna say? Fuck. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to eat something pretty soon, but
I mean, at least Tony Stark had the good grace to experiment on himself.
True.
Why not? Why doesn't Elon do
the
more?
Neuralink on your own head, dude?
Yeah.
Come on. Oh my god. Cherry, you're depriving us of your presence with these fucking quips. What's going on? No, that's objectively funny.
And it's the same. It's the same for Jeff Bezos as well. He got lucky with Amazon. He got lucky that it took off while others failed.
Yep. There's I mean, the things that we don't think about, basically what we're describing here is what is it? The bias is called not success bias, but like
it's something like that, yeah. And
something where we remember the things that obviously were successful, and we don't like. We make fun of things like Ask Jeeves, Bing. Bing is probably far better than Google at this point. Google is completely enshittified. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how online you were in the sort of late 90s, but Ask Jeeves was the one.
Yeah.
It was the search engine here everybody used, and Google was just another one. Google, Yahoo, Lycos, all of those other ones. So for Google to succeed in the way it has MySpace even. MySpace should have been what Facebook is, because they really weren't that different.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, MySpace basically existed as a thing that Zuckerberg could look at and go, okay, I don't want to do that because they're not monetizing the fuck out of it to the degree that it should be. That's basically how Zuckerberg saw.
And it was too customizable, which was partly a problem because there were pages you'd go to and the song would autoplay and you'd be searching around for where the song's coming from, or a video would all
make the music go away, but like you can't, like it doesn't load fast enough for you to find the pause button or whatever. It's just like, oh my
God. And then the colors of the background would make the writing impossible to read. So yeah, a little too customizable. So Facebook got rid of all of that and made it easy for idiots to use, and everybody went there.
Social media was really where we went wrong as a species, I think.
Yeah, bring back message boards.
Yep. From there, I think maybe the definitely the whole AI thing is a problem. For instance,
a president faces storms most people never see. Keep your nerve and remember the nation comes first. You get through. I know you know that feeling yourself.
Well, I appreciate those words. Those words are fantastic, and I just want to say it's an honor to be with you today. We are making a little bit of a tour.
If you couldn't hear that, that was our current actual president of the United States having a conversation with the AI hologram of Teddy Roosevelt. I might have shown this last week, but it's worth seeing again just because, holy shit, man, we're in it. We're deep in it.
It reminds me of that scene in Ghostbusters 2 where the mayor says, last night I had a conversation with Theodore LaGuardia and he's been dead for 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look at the people still. I mean, I literally have been this morning because, yeah, I don't go on there often at all, but every once in a while, every couple of months, I'll spend an hour or so just kind of, relearning why I don't spend any time on there. And it's pretty dire on that fucking website.
I think I'm most disappointed by all of the companies and journalists that stay on there for no reason as well, because I think the age of Twitter being the source for news is gone because you can't trust any of it. So all the big people need to leave now because, geez, it's a hellscape.
So I just came across something. I'm gonna check it out real quick before I put it on stream. But in the meantime, I'm gonna play this video.
1954. How many of you remember that day? Yeah. Right. Well, I do. I was in elementary school, and we had one of the first televisions in the neighborhood. But my old man wanted to watch this boring show called the Army McCarthy hearings. Bunch of guys sitting around talking into microphones. If you've never heard of Joe McCarthy, look him up on the whatever. He was a United States Senator and he was a real peach. He'd lie, he'd bully, destroy reputations. He would hurt people without a thought. And everybody was afraid of him because he was rooting out communism. And let me tell you, in America in the 1950s, you did not want to be called a communist. My old man hated commies. Hated him till the day he died, fought him in Korea. And yet, there we were, June 9th, 1954. And on the television, a man named Joseph Welch stands up to this bully McCarthy. And Welch says, "Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?" My commie-hating pop mutters to himself, "About damn time." Now I'm confused. I say, "Pop, I thought you and McCarthy were on the same side." And my father looks at me and he says, "There is right versus left, and there is right versus wrong." Yeah.
Jonathan Banks is a character actor that I don't think people realize just how seeded he is in popular culture.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him as Mike Ehrmantraut now from Breaking Bad, but
I had no idea he was in Star Trek stuff. He's been, yeah.
He's in Gremlins, the first Gremlins film. He's one of the cops in that. Very small role. He's all the TVs. I think he might crop up in a Rockford Files. Certainly, obviously, a lot of Arnie's stuff. He's disguised in Total Recall.
I don't know if there's any reason to. I mean, there's a reason to, but I don't know about covering it right now. Maybe I'll save it for later in the week. Think about it some more. But like, so you guys probably certainly saw on July 4th there was these whitey righties in masks descending on the Capitol. Yep, Community. It was a good character in that. But yeah, the what do they call it? Patriot Front, right?
Yeah, it's one of these dog shit white power.
Functionally Nazis, not literally, because maybe they have some little difference of belief here or there, but functionally and in effect, essentially no difference. So then I'd seen that, and then I'd seen days after that where Chuds were online saying that they were feds. These are feds. They're just doing that to, I guess, make the Nazis look bad. Like, I don't understand why they would be so certain of that, but I just happened to see this thing on Twitter because I was scrolling looking for something that I forgot to share with myself to show you guys, but some guy posted a video that's like a little over 6 minutes long, and the post says, "I don't think these guys are feds anymore. Holy shit!" And then the video is like 6 minutes long of seemingly the one guy that's either allowed or decided to, not wear a mask on that day. It seems like, and he's giving a speech, man. He's giving it. And it is pretty fucking vile. And yeah, because we don't have time to really go through everything he's saying. And I mean, it's just, I hate these motherfuckers.
I mean,
like
I haven't seen it, but in my head, I picture the scene from Blues Brothers, and I'm fully on board with the Blues Brothers attitude. I fucking hate Illinois Nazis.
No, he's not a guy with a face tattoo. He seems like maybe he was chosen because he's marginally aesthetically not repulsive. So, and he's look, he's got a charisma about the way he's speaking. But I mean, I scanned through like the first couple of minutes, and just reading the text of what he's saying anyway. He didn't seem to say anything specific about what they believe, and it seems like the reason this would be worth covering, I think, is because they are appealing to, the things he's saying, things like, we've been, our country's been co-opted by money interests and stuff like the things that like the left believes, because as they say, Nazism is the socialism of fools. And that's the reason right there, because they can appeal to people that don't know better, I guess, by saying things like that are like, oh yeah, I think that too, right? And then they of course, like Scientology, they hold the crazier shit back for once a year. In some cases they don't. But I mean, that's what's concerning here, is that it's clever in the sense that like we got attention on us right now. If we say the right things, we might get more, traffic to our website or whatever it is we just don't put the racist shit right out front. Now, I did see eventually at some point in the 6-minute video, he says something about the African criminals and, homosexual peddlers or whatever the hell. And it's like, okay, so he does get there. But it's just, yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't like whenever they fucking hide their beliefs, their faces. Fuck them.
Yep. When they say African criminals, they mean black people. When we say African criminals, we mean Elon Musk.
Show you the video. Okay, so I mean, I'm not going to play the video, but I'll show you what it looks like.
Yeah, just to say as well, it's always hilarious to me whenever they call out, they say, oh, they're feds, because they were saying the same about January 6th, and then they all got arrested, and then it was like, and then they all got pardoned by Trump, and you can't say it was orchestrated by feds and Donald Trump pardoned them all for being true patriots. Which is it? Can't be both.
See, look at this. Not sure what he's saying right here, but America's material wealth and depth of natural resources have been, turned against us. Corruption and disunity. I don't even necessarily disagree with any of that in the broad strokes. But then it gets into, race. And so, I mean, yeah, the lies of multiculturalism and shit like that.
It's weird that so many of them managed to get the American flag wrong, though.
Yeah. Oh, look right there. Oh, what a hell of a place for me to have paused it. Yeah. Yikes. There it is.
It does. I just so love to see Jake and Elwood Blues just come through there with a police car, and see them all jump into the river.
I mean, in this, I think it was probably made in the same spirit as that, but like the movie Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Not a especially great movie, unless you're a Kevin Smith fan, then it's entertaining. But as a movie, there is a scene where they encounter some Klansmen having a rally, and they fling porta potty shit all over them. It's pretty satisfying. He's a Gav ain't McGinnis. Because they're all inbred, and they're all, they all exude a lack of true confidence and a wealth of unearned overconfidence. So they have the same energy,
Yeah, it's what happens when you blame people of color for all of the problems that originate in your own head.
What does 11 stars mean? I mean, I definitely saw that eagle. Are you talking about the arch thing? Because that was pretty. Yeah, it stood out. But I don't know what the 11 difference is.
No, I think it's just stupidity. Sometimes it's hard to know with Trump whether it's stupidity or malice, because like the Trump phone didn't have enough stripes on it.
Well, so like if it's there's that. But I mean, there is also this stuff that I played some of this the other day, last week, I think. But like, where is it at? Trump had an interview with Barbara Walters back in the day. Did we look at some of this last week or no?
We didn't look at it, no, but I have seen it in the past. Yeah, it's pretty infamous.
I mean, I was surprised I had not seen it before until fairly recently. I was like, holy shit, it's all right there. Barbara Walters, by the way, that's going to be shocking for a couple of reasons. One, because, it's like, oh, he's always been this guy, but also that's a journalist doing this. She's actually challenging him and saying, like, you're lying and things like that to his face. What? Here we go.
Entitled Surviving at the Top. There are many people who would say failing at the top.
I hope the general public understands how inherently dishonest the press in this country is.
As a member of the press, let me try to clear up some of the things which you say are untrue. You write in your book, my bankers and I worked out a terrific deal that allows me to come out stronger than ever. I see the deal as a great victory, and eventually the rest of the world will too. Being on the verge of bankruptcy, being bailed out by the banks,
well, you don't have to say on the
skating on thin ice and almost drowning, that's a businessman to be admired.
You say on the verge of bankruptcy, Barbara, and you talk on the verge, and you listen to what people are saying.
I talk to your bankers.
Well, that's fine. And what do they say? I mean, depending on which banker you're talking to, what do they say? I'm the only one people write about. I mean, they don't write about other people.
You have a little more debt than most people. You're something like $3 billion in debt.
I also have a little more assets than most people.
Okay. You have debts to pay back.
Right.
You have huge loans to pay back. You say the country is in a depression. What makes you think that you can pay back those loans? And further, what your bankers have told us is that the only way you even have a chance is by selling that property out there totally, the plaza.
Well, I don't know what the bankers have said. The plaza is a very valuable property. Everybody told me, oh, you paid too much, you paid too much. Now they're all saying what a great deal he made on the plaza.
You yourself said that you saw your children.
God damn it, what I would pay to just see somebody, say that to him these days. Of course, they don't let anybody get close enough to him that would even potentially do that.
No, and for all of the neurotic and the rest of them's bullshit about access media, that's true access media. Those who don't challenge him because they're afraid of losing their access to him. But he needs their publicity, and that's something they understood even 20 years ago, is that Trump would wither and die without the eyes of the world on him.
And they probably to some degree understand it now, except the difference is that that now they're like, okay, maybe eventually he'll come back to us, but in the meantime, the other network will get better ratings than us because he will punish us for a while, right? Which is pretty fucking sad, And then also just the fact that the people that run these, especially now, or at least going forward with CNN, but I mean, before too, the people that run these corporations have every dog in the fight to have Trump be president, or at least have Republicans being president or in power. But I mean, it's just so fucking surreal to see that he's saying this, literally starts out, first thing he says in response is, the media is very dishonest. It's like, holy shit. Had he not figured out fake news yet? I think he was still maybe workshopping it back then or something.
This is what baffles me by how people were convinced by him. Because anyone that constantly says, people are saying this about me, is lying. Nobody's saying that about him. He's saying that about him. And that was the first sort of, when you notice somebody saying that all the time, people are saying that I'm a really great lover with a 9-inch penis. And people are saying this. No, you're saying
it. You don't need to tell people that people are saying it. You know?
Yeah.
Simple thing there. Yeah, you know, he's it's pretty crazy. I mean, he's never going to see any real justice for any of the shit he's done. Unfortunately, I don't think. You know,
No.
but best we can hope for.
I mean,
kills over.
There's not enough justice in the world that he could possibly see.
The damage this guy's done to the world, really. But I mean, you know, it's the playbook that I forget the guy's name that is a Russian guy that wrote a book, I think in the 80s or 90s. It was basically how to destabilize the U.S. You know, the global hegemony with the U.S. And essentially looking at what Trump has done, it seems like he has read that book and is following it to the letter. And what's, you know, more likely is that, you know, I mean, I'm just convinced, you know, without any direct evidence, but plenty of kind of smoke around what I'm thinking is a fire. He's, you know, whether intentionally or not, he's doing the bidding of Putin. I think that Putin goes to bed every night, you know, really, really satisfied with himself, seeing the shit. And that's,
I mean, my personal opinion that he is only a greedy narcissist and there is nothing else to him, but he is surrounded by people who are furthering their own
that's
ambitions, who know how to stroke the ego and feed the greed.
Right. That clip of him saying, you know, I love, you know, I don't care if they're bad people, if they are nice to me or whatever, like that's always been implicit by anybody that can halfway read a person. Like, that's obvious. That was going to be one of the problems. It was going to be he had whenever he got in office the first time. I remember thinking that and people talking about it. Like, he just listens to somebody, you know, some dictator that has bad interests for, you know, America, and he accepts their compliments and just, you know, that's not good at all. And that's clearly what he's been doing this whole time. That's why he likes, you know, that's why he likes dictators and doesn't like, you know, actual legitimate heads of state who criticize shitty, you know, statescraft and whatnot. And yeah, because it's just it's all about his little fucking ego, and it's really an indictment of a lot of stuff going wrong in this country, that it got to where it is now. And fuck, I really hope that we're able to pull out of it, but we shall see. I wish his dad had pulled out, you know. Anyway, here's this.
Matt Lopes, and my claim is nobody needs to watch a movie that came out before 1995.
Hello, Ethan. Sorry. Yeah, I would have to say, you don't need to do fucking anything. No one needs to watch any movie. We're supposed to be cavemen hunting deer and eating it with our bare hands. But because of capitalism and Steve Jobs, we have to fucking watch movies and pretend we care.
All right, pause. You got a mental breakdown?
So that's a channel it's a channel called fuck, I have to find it, but essentially that seems to be what they do is parodies of the Jubilee Surrounded, called Arounded. But it's like, let's see if I can find the damn channel. And it seems, you know, pretty legitimately entertaining. Something positive come out of those goddamn nightmare videos.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the one. I can't remember who he's one of these young left-wing people that I can't remember the name of. And he had surrounded by 20 MAGA women. One was because his point was that women can lead as good as men, which was apparently not something that MAGA women believe. And one of them said that no, when we were hunter-gatherers, the men used to hunt and the women used to gather. It's like, no, that's not how society worked then. Hunter-gatherer That's like a job. They did both because you couldn't always guarantee the hunt. They mostly gathered.
Oh shit, I forgot to add Slam Big Ad's name up there all that whole time. My bad. This is not Slam Big Ad. This is Jamboree Media. You got videos like one studio audience versus 20 comedians, one bisexual ally versus 20 bisexual erasers, one sexual fantasy versus 20 comedians, and the sexual fantasy is Pete Buttigieg is conventionally attractive and it's normal I've had sex dreams about him.
I like the one hat guy in 20 comedians.
Let's see what else they got. I'm not bleeding right now. Maybe bleeding guy versus 20 comedians. Cool. One old movie hater versus 20 comedians. One noise lover. 20 comedians versus one smelly fella. Seems pretty fun. Let's find the short one here. And then I'm going to get out of here. Get some food. Hold on, once I got to reshare. In the meantime, I hope everybody will like and subscribe if you haven't done those things. And also, there is a link pinned in the chat that is to the fundraiser that I'm humbly requesting a share. That's what I'll say first. Could you please share it? In the event that you happen to have any extra money, which I don't think many people do these days, that's okay. Well, it's not okay. It's a problem we got to solve. Nonetheless, if you can just share it, I really, really appreciate it. Once again, shout out to Ant for sharing it this morning. Definitely saw a boost from that. And if you go read the description at the link, it'll explain what's going on. Yeah. And here we go.
Can we both be two gorgeous trans women who just don't know it yet?
Don't you think my truth matters, or are you fucking showing us? Looks like you have something on your shirt. Let me fuck it out. Hold on. How does that resonate with you? I think that makes a lot of sense.
And then fuck you! Fuck you, you're saying that.
My name is Davidson Boswell, and I'm not bleeding right now.
Are you talking about a link to this video or a link to my fundraiser thing? Because to the latter, there is one in the pinned in there, but to this, I will drop one of those too. So it seems like now that I'm kind of taking a closer look at this, because I've only seen shorts from them so far, that it's like a kind of an improv type scenario.
Yeah, that's the feeling I got. Yeah.
So hopefully it doesn't come off like bad improv.
Yeah. Make sure to drop a link to re-drop the link to your fundraiser as well.
Have you heard of the piss paradox?
Right at the end.
I'm gonna. No, what is
I'm just
that?
gonna go ahead and assume you have.
Mm-hmm. No, please elaborate.
It's basically that you're not peeing when you're peeing.
I understand. Well, that makes a ton of sense.
So you agree? I won.
Well, I think we need to address the issue at hand is that I'm more healthy than you.
No.
Why not?
Because I have asthma and you don't. And what is your definition of health? Are you ableist?
So I was saying this for Matt's take, but the movie Woodchuck.
Okay, so it might not be as funny as I thought it was, just based on the shorts that I caught. But this is funny. Seems like the biggest problem, the podcast, starring Vito and Dick, has in that dynamic anyway come to an end. I just happened upon this. Apparently, it's been very recent news that Dick and Vito are not pals anymore. Which
Shocked because their relationship seemed so healthy.
they seemed on good terms the whole time, right? Like, no, it seemed like they were making money doing this. They had plenty of support on Patreon, it seems like, and I mean, it seemed like Vito kind of hates everything, hates the world, hates himself. I can kind of speak to that because he basically told me that. And Dick hates Vito and had grown beyond wanting to have, drag his shit around. Interesting thing though, there was a YouTuber named Maddox. I didn't know about him. Apparently, so many people know about, but I'd never heard of him until the context of hearing about his beef with Dick. That got pretty crazy, and the narrative around the internet. If you like,
I apologize, but you just said beef with Dick.
Well, I mean, Dick it's an accurate name based on what I can tell. So, like, the narrative that it got established is, I get the sense it's a lot like the whole Star Wars Explained thing, where if you don't know any better, you would think that Star Wars Explained did something evil and terrible, and they deserved to be called out for it the way that they were, right? But if you actually know what happened with that whole thing, you know that that's very, very successful campaign to create disinformation around Star Wars Explained and kind of point the finger at them for something that they weren't even close to solely responsible for, and was actually many people, the entire Star Wars fan community, basically on YouTube, calling out those channels. Nonetheless, I feel like that's what, I don't know for sure, but I watched a video by Maddox where he explained the history of him and Dick, and it's, his thing was it seemed well organized. It seemed like, came off to me like he was being sincere, that he wasn't being overly dramatic about much. As far as I could tell, he was just kind of, for the most part, describing things as they happened and whatnot. And he wasn't making a bunch of crazy wasn't calling him names and shit like that, other than just to say he did this fucked up thing and that's fucked up. So, I mean, from his perspective, it seems like Dick stalked him and basically kind of preyed on him, basically, as being a fan of his originally, Dick, and didn't have any content of his own or anything, and showed up, with Maddox, and eventually wormed his way into being friends with him, and then wormed his way into starting a podcast with him, which was called The Biggest Problem. And then eventually that went south, and a bunch of series of Dick doing shady stuff, behind the scenes and whatnot to Maddox. Maddox said, fuck this, he's done. And they quit. But then Dick apparently somehow basically stole the name, or took the name of the thing, even though it was owned partially by Maddox, and then started it over again with Vito. And I mean, everything I've seen about Dick, it seems like it's probably at least partially true, the stuff Maddox said, because he just comes off like a fucking psychopath. You know what, I shouldn't be saying this on stream, really, because he might get mad at me and want to fucking stalk me and shit. But it's the whole thing just seems really gross, and Vito's a fucking piece of shit. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it. That's me, Dane, saying this. Nobody else is saying that. So
yeah, I mean, I couldn't say that because I don't know about this situation. So yeah, this is.
Go watch Maddox's video about Dick. It's kind of wild. Like, he would have to be a very, very convincing sociopath that is, in order for it to, none of the stuff he said to be true. And if any of this, like a fraction of the stuff he talks about in that video about their history is true, Dick is a real fucking slimy scumbag piece of shit. Anyway, me and my mouth. God damn it. Let's see what else got here. One more thing, I think.
One thing I wanted to just popped into my head was that if anyone has heard of the YouTube channel Hanging with Dr. Z,
no.
I recommend that if you haven't. It's a very fun channel where comedian Dana Gould,
okay,
in full Dr. Zaius costume, basically acts like a talk show host and interviews various different celebrity guests. And I've seen more clips come up recently, and it's right in my wheelhouse. It's very good. Some good stuff with with
what
him.
is it, Dr. Z? What's it called?
Hanging with no second G. Hanging with Dr. Z.
Well, yeah, if you put the second G, then you're not cool. Wait. Okay. Wow. At first, so I thought the first one that came up was actually hanging with Dr. G, who only has 110 subscribers, and it's some lady, and I'm like, oh no. I see now. Oh well, there's Bill Hader. Crazy.
Yes, that's really good.
It's Dr. Zayas. I see now. Okay.
Yeah. So he's in the full costume. He's been doing this for years. I think he's been doing it perhaps since before the pandemic, but certainly he's been doing this in this format since 2020, and it's just some good stuff.
Hell yeah. Well, I was going to play a video on the way out that I will play now instead, and then I'm going to play this Dr. Z clip instead whenever we leave. So here is I played it at the beginning, but it's worth seeing again. I think it's pretty fun.
While conspiracy theorists insist no 30-06 could possibly behave this way, the round blasted into Charlie Kirk's neck, crushed his vertebra, and ricocheted downward toward his heart, only to be stopped dead by his legendary Superman neck of super-dense steel-like bone. It created no exit wound and lodged harmlessly just beneath the skin, which experts hailed as a miracle that saved the bystanders standing behind him. Up on the rooftop, Tyler Robinson didn't just break down his rifle. He shredded it apart in a ridiculous hyperspeed blur using nothing but his bare hands. Then he sprinted across the roof and launched himself off the edge with expert parkour precision. Tyler made the conscious expert decision to reassemble his rifle one last time and place it under a tree in a bush. He then changed back into his blue jeans and maroon t-shirt in hyperspeed. Time for ice cream. While conspiracy theorists insist no...
Time for ice cream. Fun times. All right. And with that in mind, oh, there was this too. All right, let's see. You know what? We don't have time to even get into all that. So next time, baby. Yeah, subscribe to Ryan's channel, Nothing But Media. Check out, the channel we promoted earlier, the Slam Big Ad. He's doing good stuff. He needs more subs. Yeah, what do you got, Ryan? Anything?
Yeah, if you're not subscribed already, subscribe to all of these channels, as well as Eric Debunks and Eric's Reloaded. Ant, of course, who's doing sterling work in his own channel, and he's very supportive of all of us.
Yep.
Just a good guy, and
one of the rare ones.
Yep, getting a lot of hate from idiots who don't understand
the kind
anything.
of stuff, like the kind of stuff that I just happen to see being said about him in just random places. I'm like, okay, so basically I can tell this person is just a huge piece of shit, right? That they're saying these fucking things about Ant that I know aren't true. Like there's narratives about what's his nuts, Noah, that are still being thrown about and stuff, like people saying that I'm not even gonna repeat it. It's fucking stupid, man. It's really fucking stupid. Like you have to be almost willfully dishonest in order to believe any of this shit. You have to have something out against a guy who has done literally nothing more than make videos being very critical, very critical, but critical and fairly critical against a lot of other YouTube creators. And it shows how bad this fucking parasocial, cult shit can be with these people, because somebody makes a video talking shit or being fairly critical of one of my friends, if they have good points, or they, at least I can tell they're trying to criticize on the merits of what the person's saying, I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm not going to feel like I have to fucking defend them, just like blindly lash out to defend somebody. But that's what these people do.
Yeah, I mean, what we do here is, I think we make good points, but we also are a little bit dickish about some people. Sometimes we make fun of people, but what he does is legitimate criticism.
Yeah, he doesn't he's barely, every once in a while he'll take a not to put him down or nothing, but a mild shot across the bow with something about their character or something like that. But that's actually a testament to, this is a plus for his content, because he doesn't sink to the lows that I've sunk to many times in my videos, where I'm like, oh, drinkers, got a big forehead or whatever, some shit like that. He doesn't do that. And that's, maybe I could even make a case that it's because I'm not as confident or as knowledgeable in things as Ant is, so I feel the need that I have to do stuff like that. But yeah, he's legit.
Also, he does have a really big forehead, and I think more people need to be aware of that.
It is very large. Nonetheless, here is this thing based on Ryan's recommendation. So if it sucks, blame him. I will see you guys probably on Friday, I think. You know what? I might stream tomorrow if I'm not going to conflict with Eric. If he's off on vacation, maybe I will. That link to the fundraiser, I will put that one more time in the chat. If you can, help a brother out. If not, that's okay. Please just share it if you can. Appreciate that. And thanks, Ryan. Sorry Cherry couldn't be on today. And Bob Chaos, I think he's I don't know, dead in a ditch somewhere. I'm not sure. Peace out.
I'm pooping right now before your eyes. I'm pooping. This is like Space Ghost, except it's only your career that has passed into the afterlife. You see?
Stop!